Welcome back to Las Vegas. It is time for another final table in the inaugural PGT Bounty Blitz series. I want to welcome you inside the PokerGO studio for the 5K Quattro Bounty. We'll explain how that works in just a second as we take you inside. My name is Remco Rinkema. Donnie Peters alongside me in the booth for the third of 5 final tables here in the first of its kind. All 5K buy-ins. Bounty Blitz series. We've got Dan Shak, Sam Laskowitz, Landon Tice, Cherish Andrews, and that beautiful trophy on the line. A little bit different than what you normally see at a poker tournament. The two names I haven't mentioned yet, John Andress and Ostapchenko, also in the mix. Laskowitz on top, but still plenty to play for, as both Laskowitz and Dan Shak still looking for their first bounty. The bounties right now worth $8,000 a piece. You can see the eliminations there on your screen and how they benefited from them. 9K for 6th, 47K for first, but the dynamics will be intriguing. I mean, that's like mildly speaking intriguing with 8K bounties on the line, especially when players get short. We'll see some trickery perhaps, some multi-way action potentially. Either way, it's going to be a fun show. Let us know where you're watching from. Appreciate you all for tuning in. It should be a good show today. Donnie, we have more bounty action underway. Stacks are again reasonably deep, but yesterday we learned that that doesn't mean a thing.
Heck no. I mean, if it happens like yesterday, the chips are going to fly. I think yesterday was probably an outlier, but you never know. You never know. I like the fact that the bounties are a little bit bigger, a little bit more for these guys to gun for.
John Andress, all in here, Queen 5 suited, putting pressure on the 2 short stacks. Donnie, that's going to be the name of the game, chasing after the short stacks with 8,000 on the line during every single one of these all-in showdowns.
Yeah, Shaq has a hand here. I mean, he might just say, okay, I'm the shortest stack. I know I got to make some moves at some point. I got a pair, the button's jamming. Wow, gives it up.
Dan Shak gets out of the way.
Oh, you're good. No, yeah, you're good. I'll just move this way so my
Pay jumps are pretty small, as you mentioned. The bounties are, at least relative to the pay jumps, are sizable, right? So if you want to earn bounties, you got to get chips. So I think I call with the 4s there. You ain't going to knock anyone out as the shortest stack. It's just not going to happen.
I 3-bet, and I busted the first hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
to Joey Weissman.
He woke up with something behind, yeah. And you had a lot of chips, too.
Yeah.
Always good to have Dan Shak at one of these final tables. I must say, one of my favorite, what do we say, businessmen? Is that like the right term? I don't know.
Sure. I mean,
one of my favorite businessmen poker players, just because he cares so much. And people that care are fun to watch. Dan Shak will care a lot about winning this today.
Definitely less than normal.
Also, Donnie, we have a bit of yin-yang going on here. We had Jeremy Becker winning event number 1, also making the final table of event number 2, and we have the yang to his ying, Mr. Landon Tice, at today's final table.
Oh, yes. We'll see if Landon Tice can make some big moves here, like his counterpart. I mean, they've become good friends now, so can't really say that they're clashing too much, but like Becker won that opening event, we'll see if Tice can win this one. I'm also interested to see how Sam Laskowitz runs. Notably, we've seen him in the studio many times and always seems to run really, really crappy when it matters most. So we'll see if he can buck that trend.
Seconds.
90.
Shout out to Christy in the chat. Appreciate you for tuning in. Will Rail in the mix as well. Trent says snap calling with 4s. I think that Andress is going to give Shak more chances to make an all-in call for his tournament life. But the pressure on the short stacks is a bit different, Donnie. Do you really have to adjust your shoving ranges when you're short because you know you're going to get called wider? Or does it open you up to shove wider because you're going to get called wider, so you're going to be a favorite with more hands you can shove with?
Yeah, I think you can open it up a little bit, knowing you're going to get called a little bit wider, especially in this format with that 8K bounty up for grabs. I mean, you don't just want to go fully wide. But at times, you know, there's going to be chances where bigger stacks take a shot. If you're in Dan Shak's shoes, let's say it's button versus the 2 blinds. Let's say it's small blind versus big blind, and you have Laskowitz as the chip leader as the big blind, you know. Yeah, maybe you can get in there a little bit wider knowing he's going to take a shot to bust you. And at some point as the short stack, I mean, you have to be willing to gamble a little bit, again, in order to get chips. In a bounty format, you need chips to bust people. So you're going to have to make some moves.
How funny is it that Laskowitz, the chip leader, hasn't won a single bounty? That's hard to do.
That is very hard to do.
Ostapchenko still among, or still in the middle of, I should say, a phenomenal summer. He's one of those players that really became a mainstay, I want to say, for the general public. As we see Dan Shak pick up pocket queens. Ostapchenko now 5.7 in career tournament earnings, millions that is. Winner this summer of the 5K No Limit at the WSOP for $600,000. Also this summer finishing second in the 25K High Roller for $1.3 million. So that is quite a way to make a mark. It's always good when you go to someone's results page and the 3 biggest results are from the last 16 months.
Yeah, I mean, he's hot. I think he had a 3rd place at a Venetian event that we covered as well.
Correct. Yeah, he was at the final table of one of the larger Venetian deep
And
stacks.
when he won that 5K at the end of the WSOP, it allowed him to then cash in 25K fantasy because he drafted himself on his team.
That's amazing. That is a great little tidbit.
That shove there seemed a bit much. 17 big blinds or so, or just shoving queens. I mean, that hand feels too good. Like, you don't mind getting called and having to play that hand. I mean, that's a super premium hand. I feel like you're just going to lose some customers. But maybe that's Dan Shak was thinking, well, if I jam, maybe these guys try and pick me off, thinking
Right.
I don't have a super strong hand. You know, maybe it was that kind of leveling war in his mind.
Are we asking ourselves the question in that scenario as we see Laskowitz come with 60,000 and Andrews tossing ducks into the muck? Are we asking ourselves the question in Dan Shak's shoes, if I shove 17 bigs with queens, am I going to get called from the King Jacks of the world? And would those types of hands not reshove to my open? And how do you look at that?
Yeah, they might not reshove to the open because I think off the 17 big blind stack, if you just come in for a min raise, it probably looks pretty strong. But what if it's a king jack suited and they elect to call? I mean, you can just play your queen's post. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Structure is slow enough, 30-minute levels. No respect was shown to the structure at yesterday's final table. Big Hooney and Sergio Ido made quick work of the structure, bringing us down to heads-up play in, this is not a typo, 15 hands. In 15 hands, we went from 6 players down to 2, and then we watched a 90-minute heads-up battle, which was highly intriguing. Sergio Ido coming out on top. Worth of a rewatch if you want to watch Chris Hoonican, Mr. Big Hooney, sort of, I don't know, step on people a little bit. It was definitely a fun show.
It was a very, very fun show.
Meanwhile, we have action on the turn as the 9 of diamonds hits. Ostapchenko adds a pair to his hand as Laskowitz turns the nut flush draw. Ostapchenko out of position with only 460K behind. That flop bet small enough to call, but how does our game plan change here as the out of position player, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can have some 8s in his range, but I think Ostapchenko is still going to play this one pretty conservatively here. I mean, he's probably hoping it just goes check, check, and it does. I mean, Laskowitz is going to take this equity with the flush draw, and hello, there it is.
Taking the equity to the river, and making it well disguised, I might say.
And Ostapchenko, I think, is still just going to try and get to showdown at least.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know Laskowitz is going to come with a bet here, but
So is Laskowitz likely to bluff his ace highs, his king highs here on the river? Because that, of course, will decide whether Ostapchenko wants to consider making a call here.
if he had the ace of diamonds, the king of diamonds, yeah, maybe he leverages those particular cards when the backdoor diamonds come in.
185.
You know, I don't think he's just going to necessarily bet, let's say, a black ace king, right? He might just say, okay, that hand still has a fair amount of showdown value.
And Laskowitz comes with 185 here. Ostapchenko now with a tough decision to make.
I mean, the one hand that Laskowitz might play this sort of way is the queen jacks of the world. You know, similar to like when you turn a flush draw, check it back, maybe he turns the open-ended. Problem with Ostapchenko's hand is he has a jack in his hand, so blocking that combo to some extent from Laskowitz.
Well, Ostapchenko saved himself some chips here, gets out of the way, and Sam Laskowitz, the first player, up over 2 million chips. If you're catching us on YouTube right now, please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel. We have 2 more live streams from the Bounty Blitz series coming up tomorrow and on Saturday. So that should be a lot of fun to close things out with. We've had plenty of superstars in the mix. Michael Mizrachi in search of his much-needed third cash on the PGT. Hopefully, we'll be able to see him on one of these final tables. We have 2 different formats still to come as well. Donnie, tell the people what they can expect.
Yeah, today we have a PKO format starting. Everyone loves the PKO. So it starts off with the bounties are 2K, but if you bust someone, you collect 1K. You collect half, you put the other half on the table, and as you progress throughout the tournament, your bounty grows quite nicely. And at the end, you're playing for a nice pile of money. We also have a mystery bounty still to come as well. That'll be a lot of fun. The mystery bounty that we did during the PLO series last time around was a big hit with the players, so I would expect much of the same for this series.
So a brand new series here. If you're watching for the first time, we're trying something new. The Bounty Blitz, starting off small with 5K buy-ins. I will say that I'd love to see this format continue to grow. I think that bounty poker is intriguing and fun to watch, and it adds a new dynamic to the game, which is something that we can always sort of appreciate and try and support. Speaking of supporting, go to PokerGO.com/schedule to see how you can support us by watching all that we have coming up. The live tab on our YouTube channel will also show whatever else we have going on. Tons of live streaming. We're double dipping tomorrow and Saturday. Landon Tice in action here with the suited ace-jack. First time we're hearing from him at the final table. And, Donnie, it's a very business-like atmosphere. Not as chatty as the previous 2 final tables.
Yeah, I mean these players, a little bit less colorful personalities overall.
Okay.
Also, I think they're kind of just waiting each other out, waiting out Dan Shak and Ostapchenko specifically. If we happen to lose one of those players, I think the tension in the air will be alleviated a little bit here.
Pocket eights for Andrews, who has a very intriguing tattoo on her arm. I don't know why I never noticed this before, but it is like a tiger with maybe her own eyes. It's pretty cool.
Not going to get any action here.
I feel like with tattoos, you're either a tattoo person or you're not. Like you either have tons of tattoos or you don't have any tattoos at all.
Yeah.
My wife being a tattoo person, she has like 25 of them.
And that's why you balance it out.
And I have no tattoos, so there you go.
I'm always surprised with the people who, not like in a bad way, but the people who you don't see their I know your wife, you can see her tattoos. Even Cherish, like you can see it, right? But sometimes you don't see people's tattoos. And then you might see him at a beach or in a photo or whatever, and you're like, oh, you have that tattoo? Like I would have never thought, because I never saw it before.
Shout out to Michael Schofield. Sent to prison.
Prison break,
to get his brother out. No one could see he had tattoos, and then the the white collared shirt came off, and all of a sudden there it was, the plan to escape from the prison. Was Prison Break, by the way, the best since season 1 of Prison Break, the best single season of TV? Like that first season was like so like a game changer.
Yeah, I didn't watch it when it first came out, and I remember it was right after 24. I was big into 24. I watched every episode basically, like appointment viewing when it was on.
Right.
I tuned in with my roommates in college. We watched it, religiously. I've rewatched 24 a couple times since then. I never stuck around for Prison Break right after. I could just never. I don't know. I wasn't interested. Maybe the whole 24 experience at the time was a little bit too much. I was like, okay, I need to like get away from the TV now. Whatever. But our good friend Mickey Doff kept pressing Prison Break on me. So I think last year or a year before, I watched it, and I was glued, like flew through it as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, it was really, really good. And it sometimes shows like that, you might watch them now, they don't hold up. That one held up. It was very, very good.
Absolutely. Speaking of holding up, Dan Shak looking for a way to make some money here with aces, and no customers yet again. That's both queens and aces without any noticeable change in his chip stack. Shaq will not be happy with that.
Well, and also, I mean, worth pointing out there, 2.5x raise. Last time we saw him jam the 17 bigs with the queens, there he comes in 2.5x with the aces. So even if someone had something marginally playable, which no one did, you're kind of pricing them out to call. Like,
right.
When you're now, if stacks are deeper, yeah, maybe you want to raise up a little bit more and lower that SPR going post flop. But when you're so short, I mean, you could even argue there to limp the aces.
Oh.
Like when you're that short. Like, I'm not saying I would, but I'm saying there's more of an argument kind of the shorter that you get, because I just feel like personally, the shorter you get, the more willing you should want to be to ramp up the risk. Because, I mean, who cares? You bust, you bust. There's a likelihood you're going to bust anyway because you're the short stack.
On.
And Andress is going to apply the pressure here on Ostapchenko. He's got Jack 9 of diamonds. I mean,
this is pretty close.
Oh, there we go. Makes the call. Ostapchenko at risk. Jack 9 of diamonds versus 7-6 offsuit. Andress chasing an $8,000 bounty. Yes, you heard that correctly. $8,000 bounty on the line here. 1 million chips in the middle. Ostapchenko looking to get back in the game. There comes the flop. Queen 4-5 to make it interesting here.
It's never easy.
14 outs. Jack high still slightly ahead here, but so many options here for Andress. Turn card is the 9 of clubs. Ostapchenko now with a pair, removing all the pair options for Andress. So Ostapchenko now needing to avoid his opponent making a straight, and there it is, 5 on the river. We're going to remain 6-handed, and now John Andress will be a target for players, given the size of his stack.
490. 3, 4, 7.
Shout out to everyone in the chat hanging out with us. Jeremy Fallaw says, first season of True Detective as the best season of all time. I can get on board with that. That is also phenomenal. Given the time, though, I need to give a nod to Prison Break, because that came out in 2005, 20 years ago. So, actually, speaking of, came out literally a year ago this week, August 29, 2005, the first episode. So, given the fact that it's 20 years old, and back then, sort of movie-esque TV shows with a narrative like that were not common at all. It's definitely an experience back then to follow along. Eric says, nice double, indeed. Christy is excited. Here we go. If you're enjoying the coverage on YouTube, just give us a like on the video. Leave us a comment or hang out with us in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. We are 13 hands into this final table, and yesterday we were basically down to 2 at this point, which is very funny. Tice raises it up quietly, rakes in the pot.
I was up till about 2:30 in the morning the other night finishing a show that Jeremy Becker was pressing me about.
Oh boy, which one?
The Hunting Wives.
The Hunting Wives.
It's on Netflix. My wife and I watched the first episode. I couldn't really get into it. She kept asking me, you want to continue? I was like, I don't know. I'm not really into it, whatever. Then I go to play poker one day. Jeremy's yelling at me, have I watched The Hunting Wives? I'm like, yeah, I watched the first episode. He's like, oh, recently? I was like, no, a couple weeks ago or whatever. He's like, and you didn't continue? I was like, no, I couldn't get into it. He's like, you got to keep going. So we ripped through it the other night. I don't know how I feel about it.
Wait, is this Xena the Warrior Princess?
I got no idea.
The main character?
It was one of those shows where I found myself, like, picking up my phone and, like, just doing other things, and then you can tell you're just not into it.
I'm trying to see where I know this actress from. She looks so familiar. She was on Billions. That's what I recognize her from. I feel like with YouTube these days, I just get down these rabbit holes watching YouTube videos, and I just totally forget that Netflix even exists.
Yeah.
I watch sports, and I watch, well, poker, I guess. I watch poker, and I watch YouTube. That's basically all I watch.
Yeah.
Very serene atmosphere here inside the studio today.
It's so awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
Don't have to ask.
Yeah, but it's making it awkwardly quiet.
Yeah, no one's there.
That's true.
I mean, the other final tables weren't quiet, guys. Just saying. And they had the same chip monitor.
Five, 4 hearts for Laskowitz. Gonna raise it up from the button. Tice with a interesting looking hand here. Ace-9 offsuit on 29
Not
bigs.
quiet anymore.
10 seconds.
210.
210,000.
Tice comes with a 3-bet to 210. And Laskowitz lets it go. Are we allowed to get crazy there sometimes with that type of hand, or is that
With
just
the 5-4 suited?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think Landon's getting a little bit out of line there, I mean, it's kind of a guessing game, because on one side, Landon should be tight given the situation where his stack is. The other two short stacks, Andress and Shak, being there, or part of Landon shouldn't want to get too nuts there because he's got good value in his stack. On the other side of things, that Landon is very studied, and he's likely just going to kind of do like what theory says, which is at times 3-betting the ace-9 offsuit and stuff like that. So if he jams Laskowitz, we know it would have worked, right? But you're still kind of playing that guessing game.
60.
7 Dookie in the chat says, you've seen Beef? I have seen Beef, and I thought it was phenomenal. One of my favorite shows I've watched this year. Have you watched Beef?
No.
Dude, Donnie, you and your wife will love this show.
I don't watch like a ton of TV.
No, this one you have to watch.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be hard for me to watch anything now. Football starts today. The PGT's going crazy. I mean, Well, this is going to be bad news here for Andress.
Andress flopping an open-ended straight draw. Laskowitz with the ace high and the nut flush draw. It's got raised to 60K by Laskowitz. Andress made the call. Action now on Laskowitz. Are we often check raising all in here? Or continuing perhaps to keep it?
I think you can go either way. I mean, if he does come with the check raise here, I don't hate it against this sizing. Maybe he just wants to just check call. It's a very small bet here. $45, sir. No discounts.
Andress does make the call. And there's the 3 of clubs.
Okay.
Andress hits his straight. Comes with the check again, hoping that Laskowitz continues betting.
I know it was a little bit of a different run out last time, but we did see Laskowitz check back on the turn when he had the nut flush draw with that ace-queen of diamonds. Now it was a backdoor flush draw versus this was a flop flush draw. So let's see if Laskowitz takes a similar approach checking back here. If he decides to bet it, he's going to do the same thing, check it back.
River brings the king of clubs. Somewhat safe here for Andress, but Laskowitz left with nothing here.
Yeah, and you kind of like that card because there's going to be a bunch of kings in the range. Yeah, he's like, man, I wish you had it.
Goes check, check, and Andress gets the showdown in straight. Takes this one down, back up to 800,000 after doubling up Ostapchenko not too long ago. And we are 17 hands into this final table, haven't lost a player yet. This is the Bounty Blitz Quattro. A quick reminder here that Octopi Poker is the next generation study system for everyone, from casual players to elite pros like Steven Chitwick. It's fun to use, affordable, and full of features. Head on over to octopipoker.ai and check it out. Seriously though, check it out. Head on over to octopipoker.ai right now while you're watching. Give it a look, give it a try. You'll be very pleasantly surprised with what they have to offer and how they can help to improve your game.
And you heard Andress at the end of that hand when he checked and then Laskowitz quickly checked behind, kind of grunt a little bit like he missed a spot. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where Laskowitz had a hand that he's going to check back, yes, but one, that card is a king where Laskowitz might decide to bluff that card because it's a king. Maybe he has just a club, the ace of clubs in his hand. He decides to bluff with the backdoor clubs coming in. Maybe he connects with the king. But all those things didn't work out, which is why Andress was like, what the heck, man? Like,
flop action right away again. This time, Ostapchenko lets go right away. If you're enjoying our PGT throughout the year, please know that we have tons of PGT action coming up. The PGT Venetian Classic starts next week on Thursday. It's going to be 3 starting flights, all live streamed. Then day 2 and the final table on Sunday and Monday. And that rolls almost right into the Poker Masters, which starts off with a 5K buy-in $1 million showcase, streaming day 1A on Friday, September 19th.
yeah, there are a bunch of satellites for that opener for the Poker Masters, and I believe the first satellite has 5 seats guaranteed.
That's amazing.
So pgt.com/schedule has all the satellite information listed there. I think it's 560 is the buy-in, maybe 580, one of those.
I know.
It's the library.
I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
All right, Shaq, here you go. There you go. All in. Quick fold.
Three, yeah.
Man, Cookie Monster coming in hot here. All these pros are so boring. Get a real job and a personality and play for fun like the rest of us.
Well, this is fun too.
This is also, you know, a real job. I mean, you You go to the office and you're just yelling and screaming all day. Like, I mean, most people are just sitting in a cubicle doing not talking.
You keep turning your neck.
You know what we should do? Have you ever seen that?
You need a number. I
That
got you. If you
the quietest room in the world. Have you ever seen that thing?
Oh, yeah.
We should make this room like that
Just like make it super, super
and
quiet.
drive the players nuts.
That's so funny.
Like when your heart rate goes up, you can hear it, and see who just quits.
Or what if we, you've seen those Mr. Beast videos where they have to stay in a room for 100 days and then they get a whole bunch of money? What if we did a poker game like that, where the last person to leave wins the whole prize pool, and the game just goes on forever? If you go bust, you just get a new stack. But if you just don't want to play anymore, that's when you lose.
I'm in.
Stream it live 24/7. Queen H5. Rainbow flop here. Three-way action for the first time, I believe. Not much excitement to speak of on this board.
35.
Ostapchenko deploying a limping strategy here on the button. Gets it done.
Race for the PGT leaderboard is also heating up here in September. The top 40 qualifies for the $1 million PGT championship at the end of the year. You need to be in the top 40 and also have 3 cashes. Michael Mizrachi still looking for his 3rd cash. And when we look at the other players from the main event final table, which always come with some intrigue as they have tons of points but not tons of cashes, John Wozniak and Braxton Dunaway, both in the top 10, but only have 1 total cash. Kenny Holler in 13th, also just 1 cash. Luka Bojovic, also just 1 cash. He's in 16th place. Leo Margetz, also a finalist, 1 cash. A few more names here. Jared Mangini, Dae-Hoon Lee, all in the top 40 with just 1 cash. Donnie, am I correct in saying here that these players just get removed, and whoever is not in gets bumped into the top 40?
Yeah, correct. So I mean, we ultimately want 40 people. We want like a full field of 40. So, if you don't qualify, you're going to get bumped out. People will get bumped in. Also, this year, you do have to list yourself as eligible entering PGT Last Chance. So I believe PGT Commissioner Tim Duckworth is going to reach out to everyone and be like, hey, do you want to possibly play or do you want to opt in to play the PGT Championship? Because there was a couple players, I believe, last year who qualified, had all the criteria, had 3 cashes, etc., but then didn't come anyway.
Right.
For whatever reason. So just want to make sure that, again, we try and get a full field of 40 from the leaderboard.
Does change things quite a bit here as it stands. Top names like João Vieira, Brian Rast, Ben Tollery, and Texas Mike are on the outside of the top 40 looking in. But by the looks of it, they are pretty safe with about 8 players potentially falling out of the top 40 by not meeting the requirements.
Yeah, of course. Zhao Smao showed up yesterday, I believe, for this series, so he's here battling. We also know he likes PLO. We got our PLO stuff coming up, so I'm sure he'll be in the mix plenty. But it's really important for those people, let's say 41 through 60, because even if you get maybe not into the top 40, but maybe a couple people drop out and then you get bumped up. So certainly going to be a fun race down the stretch, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can follow along with that race on PGT.com. You can also check out the leaderboard there. I'm sure we'll have lots of tweets and coverage on our social media channels as well. If you're just tuning in, final table event number 3. Blinds at 15K, 30K. So lots of room to play for these players. No real stress about the blinds going up. If you want to try and play in our $1 million PGT Championship, all you have to do right now for a chance to get sent to Vegas is to play one hand on playpokergo.com to give yourself a chance to win a dream seat. Download the free Play PokerGo app or head to playpokergo.com, create an account to play a single hand to get automatically entered for a chance to win a dream seed into the championship. No purchase necessary. A purchase will not improve your odds of winning. Must be 21 years or older and a U.S. resident to enter. Full rules and details at pokergo.com/rules.
I'm going there right now to get my hand in. I know I can't win, but I got to act the part.
10 seconds.
Dan Shak gets his hand in as well. Shoves with Jack-9 suited from the cutoff. Very nice looking hand here, especially when you're running low on chips. 14 bigs into the middle here.
Nope.
Cherish Andrews hoping for anything reasonable to call with, but 40 suited not on that list. If you wonder why players are looking over to the side there, there's a monitor with the live chip counts for the players to look at, which of course helps remove an element of asking players how much do you have, what did you start with, etc., etc. Just one more thing to try and smooth things out and get to play to speed up and, you know, make it more enjoyable for you guys at home to watch.
Doesn't matter. I just mean because the cards are like here last time. And here. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. No, because like the cards the last time were here and then this time they're here. It doesn't really matter. Really.
10 seconds.
Cherish Andrews with 9-5 suited. Okay to see a flop.
I hope the guy that came in here is like all insane. Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah, go to the cage. It's right there.
Yeah, the bartender's like, tell me how much. It's like, what? We don't need any of that. Just go there.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Get your wallet out.
Yeah, no.
Andress checks from the big blind.
I don't want to play that.
You know, it's a PKO.
Yeah.
I can't play it anyways. I'm leaving. I would play it though. I like PKOs.
I don't know if it's working.
And look at this. Interesting board development here with a 10 of clubs on the
I see what
turn.
you're saying. If you're late.
Andrews open-ended with a flush draw. Andress
Yeah,
now with a pair of
depends on
jacks and
people
a flush
busting,
draw.
I guess. Like if everyone's still in the tournament, you would play.
I guess.
That's 45.
Andress a bit disguised here, checking back top pair.
If they made it
So, you
flat,
know,
then
Cherish
it's
might
like
think
a
she's
100.
targeting in
Like,
8,
there's a difference in rake with, like,
or you know,
rake.
just gonna get a fold out of some random cards, and even if she does get called, she's got a decent amount of equity. But
Good for the leaderboard.
you can see that Andress has better clubs.
Get on the board.
But look at that, 7 comes home.
7 on the river gives Andrews a straight with 210K in the middle. She's going to look for some value here. Comes with 125,000.
A little over half pot here. Don't get too greedy on this texture. Probably up against an 8, a 10. Might even lean more so that way as opposed to your opponent having missed clubs because you have clubs in your hand. She does get paid off.
Wow, nicely done from Andrews. Getting value here. And Andress not happy.
Clubs too.
Slamming those cards on the table. And Andress was one of the biggest stacks just a few hands ago, and now he is the shortest stack. And as the blinds increase, and I'm not breaking any news here, but as the blinds increase, the pressure will continue to mount on him. And with the 8K bounty on his head, getting a shove through is going to get harder and harder as well. So no real room to bluff or make moves. Andress in a spot now to just look for some cards. Let us know in the chat. Are you a fan of bounty tournaments? Do you seek them out, whether live or online? Do you have, you know, opinions on certain bounty formats? I know some people love the mystery bounty or PKOs. Laskowitz makes it 80,000, and Ostapchenko in the big blind is going to come along and make the call. Ten in the window right away. King behind it. Ostapchenko flopping top two. Laskowitz doesn't even have a backdoor hard draw, so not a flop he's going to get excited about.
No, but it is a flop he's going to try and represent here, and that's beneficial to Ostapchenko, of course. These sorts of king-high textures, the pre-flop raiser, and the chip leader definitely going to put additional chips into the pot.
Nine of clubs on the turn. Ostapchenko still hoping that Laskowitz will bite on this.
$170.
170 now from Laskowitz, so the plan working for Ostapchenko, and I'm assuming we're going to be happy letting him do the betting.
Yeah, I think so. I do like from Laskowitz betting this turn with his hand. I think you can easily think to yourself, okay, I have ace high, you know, I fired the flop fine, whatever, let's just check it back and try and get to showdown. But I don't necessarily think an ace three, no diamond, has a ton of showdown value here, so continuing to rep I think is fine. And look at that, full house here.
King of clubs on the river, and again the quick check from Ostapchenko.
Now might be time for Laskowitz to shut it down on this river card. Of course, you know, you could see him go for it too. He did size it where if he does want to jam.
10 seconds.
All in.
Wow. And Laskowitz moves all in. The snap call from Ostapchenko, and he's going to get a full double up courtesy of the Laskowitz shove. And that's the second double up for Ostapchenko. All of a sudden, he's our new chip leader as Laskowitz takes a huge blow to his stack, knocking him down to 1.2 million. And Donnie, how much of this factors into the fact that we are playing a bounty tournament, or do you think that's not really involved in his decision making?
I mean, I think there is some factor in that it is a bounty tournament, yes. I mean, I think Laskowitz is going to... I mean, it's hard to say because Ostapchenko just had the goods there.
Right.
But you can make a 10 kind of indifferent there on the end. If he's just got, let's say, Jack 10 Ostapchenko, for example. There are going to be some missed diamonds, I think, in the range of Ostapchenko, and Laskowitz didn't have any diamonds in his hand. Again, maybe a static card like that, King on the River, doesn't necessarily change too much on the board. Maybe you want to check back more often than not.
Well, that's kind of a changer to the entire game.
And so far, you know, Ostapchenko has been steady, I'll say. One hand that sticks out, limping the button with that Jack 7 of spades. Didn't want to raise, possibly get 3-bet, can just take a flop in position and play it fine from there. Now we'll see if things change for him. He's the chip leader. Ostapchenko, you know, watching him over the years can certainly ramp up the aggression. So let's see if that continues now.
Andress, his turn to shove. Does it with ace-8 offsuit, and I can feel the tension building here at this final table. No eliminations yet. Blinds are about to go up again. And we are still 6-handed.
Kind of becomes a weird game of chicken.
Yeah.
Like you're all like, oh, like, well, I don't want to bust. I want someone else to bust, and everyone's just kind of sitting around like looking at everyone else, being like, who's it going to be?
But that's supposed to be where the bounty format changes this, where normally you look to not bust, and now you look to bust people. And especially with these small pay jumps, that's such a huge factor. And of course, because a large chunk of the buy-in ends up being used for bounty money, we're seeing a smaller payout at the final table, because between these 6 players, there's $48,000 in bounties on the line.
Yeah, and also, honestly, some of it is just card distribution. Like, we haven't seen the big hands for 2 players. I mean, it took a big triple barrel bluff there versus a full house for the money to eventually get in. But, you know, most of the time, we haven't just seen a big clash. I know we saw one earlier, blind versus blind, Andress jamming, but, you know, yesterday we saw aces versus kings and this and that. Like, it was just big hand after big hand, right? So some of it is just simply there's no distribution in that way that leads to big hands. Could also be the way that players are playing their cards. Earlier we saw Dan Shak on 2 occasions, once with queens, once with aces. He jams the queens for 17 bigs. He raises 2.5x with the aces. Now, let's say he just min raises both of those hands. Maybe there's some post-flop action that comes, and then that, you know, leads to further action, right? Somebody flops top pair against him, they get the money and whatever. So overall, if we're here for action, just the way that everything has fallen just hasn't been in the favor of action.
Shout out to Caitlin Komeski in the chat with us, rooting on Cherish Andrews. Thanks, Caitlin, for hanging out with us. Hope all is going well. Feels like a lifetime ago that we did commentary on the ladies' event at WSOP. I guess that was 2 years ago. King 10-3, 2 clubs. Laskowitz defending from the big blinds. Kenny in the chat says, Laskowitz seems like the type of dude who starts the final table as chip leader, only to bust out first. I mean, your hypothesis is intact, I want to say, but I don't think it's based on anything. Laskowitz, tremendous player, has had lots of success in the studio. Donnie, also, you mentioned this yesterday. Wow, I'm spacing on the name completely. Who had the bad beat yesterday with Aces versus Kings?
Becker.
Becker, sorry. Wow, I don't know why I was spacing on that. Maybe I need some more coffee. Similar to Becker, who's had lots of bad beats all over town, I feel like Laskowitz has had his share of bad beats on our streamed final tables.
Yeah, I mean, he's the new Chris Brewer. You know, for so long, Chris Brewer was getting in these big spots and stuff just wasn't going his way. Laskowitz has been in plenty of big spots here at the PokerGo studio, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't broken his way. Whether that be coolers, you're running a big pair into a bigger pair, whether that be bad beats, you know, whether that be even things like, you know, a triple barrel bluff doesn't work because the guy just has the full house.
Right.
Like, you know, it's all this type of variance, and it's just all working against Sam Laskowitz in the PokerGo studio. And it's not that he's not an exceptional player, because Sam Laskowitz is a very good player. He puts a lot of time and effort into his game. He's got a good group of friends that he, you know, often studies with and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes variance just sucks. And for Sam Laskowitz, it sucks in this studio.
It really, really does. Well, he's still got 1 million chips, so nothing to worry about. And that bluff obviously backfired, which was not a bad beat. But Laskowitz has had his share of those at some of these final tables, as we see Landon Tice make the call to go heads up with Dan Shak. Ace-10, Jack-2 clubs on board here. Shak can represent the big cards here. Would like to see him continue. All right, you know what that sound means. Means that I got something to tell you that's going to improve your life, potentially. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But potentially, this could improve your life.
Oh, this could definitely improve your life.
Definitely. The Splash Sports High Stakes Survivor World Championship with Phil Hellmuth and Nick Wright is live right now. Buy in for $5,000 and play up to 6 entries, all for your shot at winning $1 million. Just pick one pro football winner each week, survive, and the last player standing takes it all. Enter by September 8th at 5 p.m. on splashsports.com/5K. That is splashsports.com/5K. I believe there's an overlay, and I believe Donnie Peters is going to tell me right now how many are entered.
99 are entered.
Oh, wow. We've had an uptick.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's still only halfway there.
I know, but the last time you talked about it was like 54.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has risen a bit there, you know, and it probably will rise over the next couple of days. You mentioned that deadline is still September 8th, so still time to get in. But listen, the first NFL game is today. It is tonight. The Cowboys take on the Eagles tonight. So if you want to get in there, I mean, I would, in the very least, I would monitor this. I literally just sent a screenshot to my guys that we do the contest with.
Right.
Because I mean, it's gotten to the point now where you got to monitor it. I mean, if there's a 250K, 200K overlay, I mean, that's incredible value. And if anyone has ever followed Phil Hellmuth and his picks that he makes, I mean, good Lord.
Speaking of Phil Hellmuth, Cherish Andrews going with the trademark one sleeve on the jacket.
Wow.
That's a very Hellmuth-esque.
That is.
I hope producer Aiden puts a side-by-side of Hellmuth and Cherish Andrews with one arm in the sleeve.
A couple sixes here for our recently crowned new chip leader, Ostapchenko. And notice the sizing. He's sizing up here off a bigger stack, trying to deny players to, get in there easier.
Very, very exciting looking suited connector for Andrews. I don't know what it is about 10-9 of hearts, but it always makes me feel like I have ace-king.
Certainly enough of a hand to call here in the small blind, but, let's say she wanted to make a very conservative fold. Don't necessarily hate it. You are going to be out of position against the chip leader. You are opening up to this sorts of things where Andress can possibly look to squeeze, and Andrews is going to get shut out of that hand.
Andress moves all in for 575. Ostapchenko might return the favor as he doubled through Andress at the start of this final table, but he also might collect that $8,000 bounty, which is now hanging in the balance with John Andress tournament life on the line. $1.3 million at stake. Ostapchenko could take a commanding chip lead if his sixes hold up. Otherwise, we'll have a much more even playing field. If Andress stays alive and it comes 7-5 deuce with 2 diamonds, no diamonds to speak of here, and Andress desperately now looking for an ace or a jack. The 5 on the turn is not going to make a difference, and stand up, grab the jacket, grab the bag, anything to try and make something happen here. But it doesn't come in. 8 on the river. John Andress, our first casualty from this final table. Ostapchenko collecting an $8,000 bounty as Andress collects $9,200 for his 6th place finish. And all of a sudden, there's a clear path here for Ostapchenko to try and dominate the remaining players at this table with a monster stack in front of him.
John Andress, 3rd place in event number 1, 7th place in event number 2, and then here, of course, goes out in 6th place. So he's 3 for 3 on cashies in PGT Bounty Blitz tournaments. This one might sting the most because of where he started and how it just kind of went all wrong at the final table.
9,200.
So down to 5. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win. Nice look at King 10 suited for Dan Shak.
Oh, yes. I love this hand. It gets me into a lot of trouble, but I love it. Just folds. Wow. That seems... I know there's a lot of bigger stacks behind you, but I mean, in the very least, King 10 suited, it's going to block a lot of good hands from your opponents. Like, certainly think you just come in for a standard min race. There's nothing wrong with that.
Dan Shak just going real conservative here.
Thank you.
Want to play online poker for free? With PokerGO, you get the thrill of authentic poker anytime, anywhere. From quick casual games to action-packed tournaments, PokerGO lets you compete against real players around the globe, all for free. No bots, no gimmicks, just pure poker fun. Hone your skills and enjoy the poker experience you love. Explore PokerGO on web, iOS, and Android. Deal yourself in now.
Well, one other benefit from PokerGO is that if you play one hand and you are based in the US and you are 21 or older, you'll become eligible to win a seat into the PGT Championship. So head on over there right now and just play at least one hand.
Just don't fold King 10 suited if it gets dealt to you. Yeah, it is completely free on playpokergo.com, so you literally don't even have to do anything. Like, you just sign up. It takes all of like 5 seconds to sign up, pop into whatever the table is, the lowest ring game table if you want, and just fire in one hand. Very simple. Simple stuff. Did you see the fold yesterday from Barstool Nate?
I mean, all the group chats that I was in were blowing up.
I mean, what in the world was
like,
that?
What? Like, why? Like,
why?
Like, why?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, I know that Nate's played the main event before. I know he's got some experience. Last I checked, folding kings is not a good idea.
On a 10-high board for 1/8 the pot.
I mean, what? Maybe it was for engagement to get some clicks. I don't know what else to say. That, I mean, I will give a shout out to
breaking 38 minutes.
To the Barstool crew, especially Nate and Mincy, who've been and Smitty have been big proponents of the game of poker for many, many years. Coming out to Vegas to play the main, also have been involved with various things that we've done at PokerGo, and they finally made it happen. A poker game under the Barstool umbrella. Jeff and Brent flew all the way out to the East Coast. I guess they were in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, Nashantucket, Connecticut.
Nashantucket. I wonder
my
if
old stomping grounds at Foxwoods.
I wonder if Dave did any pizza reviews on property. But yeah, they got Portnoy in a game of poker.
I mean, listen, if there was ever a company or a brand that was more prime for poker, it's Barstool.
Oh yeah.
So like, in a way, I'm like looking at Dave Portnoy. As much as I, love the guy and his pizza reviews and all that sort of stuff, like, I'm like, dude, poker is a layup for you and your audience and your community. An absolute layup.
Yep,
like,
I agree.
What are you doing?
I'm just worried we're going to lose Jeff and Brent.
I mean, we might, we might, but that means more work for us, so
that's
whatever. If they want to go on to bigger and better things, I get it.
Right.
Right, It's not the end of the world. I will forever love them.
Yeah. I'm not playing that one.
But yeah, I mean, it just, like, heck, start the Barstool Poker Tour.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
It would be incredible value, too, if you're, like, a decent player.
With, like, meetup games.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
It'd be bananas.
It'd be amazing.
Absolutely bananas. And I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. Like, if anyone can mobilize and it would benefit poker, I cannot imagine something better than Barstool.
Bounty Blitz is just too much for this.
There he goes. All in.
King 10 not good enough, but Ace Jack is. Dan Shak all in. looking for a double, and he's going to at least win this one without showdown.
Jack 8 suited.
Donnie, the one sleeve for Cherish just really throwing me off here.
Well, it should be the other sleeve, right? Because she's got to show off the tattoo.
Yeah, I know. That's even.
I always get cooler with that hand.
That's my
Caitlin, texture girl.
How'd that come up? How'd that become your favorite hand?
It's when I was a kid and I played in like home games and stuff. I just won a lot of hands with it, and
Just ravaging.
everyone from back home would call it Cherish's hand. They still call it that.
Yeah.
Not that we,
Yeah.
kids should not gamble.
Right.
But
Be gamble aware. With the pamphlet.
Do you think you're up lifetime with it?
I mean,
Plenty.
probably. Like I don't do.
Usually people's favorite hand, they're stuck with it because they play it.
No,
so much.
I'm definitely up with
buried.
it. I'm definitely up with
What's
it.
your favorite hand?
3-5 of diamonds.
There. I was getting.
Like there's some people
I
that wouldn't
expected
fold
something
that.
like this, yeah,
Yeah.
like a 5, like a low suited, but it wasn't gonna be like
Yeah.
stone connected. There's gonna be a gap in there.
Like
Yeah,
if-
I've won some big 4-bet pots with it. So
Yeah, I believe that.
And then you never win with the hand.
Like if Rigsby was sitting here and he looked at deuce 3, you're getting called.
Yeah.
I can fold.
Yeah. Very disciplined.
Yeah. Some people though will never fold their favorite hand.
Yeah.
Donnie, what's your favorite hand? Don't say aces.
4 or 5 suited. I love that hand.
10-9 suited.
I mean, that's a great hand too. I mean,
All right, chat. You know what to do. Give me your favorite hand. Don't say aces.
favorite
It
hand,
disqualifies
Landon?
you immediately.
and I
It's
just
gotta be like
recently
6, 5,
heard
5, 4,
Seth
somewhere in
Davies
there.
talking
Yeah.
about
There's
4 or 5
way
suited
too-
specifically, and
too
he
much
said that's a
fun.
great hand,
So
and you
much
can do a lot of
possibility
bluffing
that
with
you
it.
have
So
it
now
all.
I'm like,
Yeah.
here we
Oh,
go.
validation, baby.
I'm like, okay, I guess I can bluff a lot with it.
Say
Okay.
aces. Like,
Yeah, no, that's
Wow.
not fun.
Sick.
Kings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, jacks plus. No, you
Yeah, you
can't.
can't-
That
you
can't
can't
be your
beat it.
favorite hand.
I guess my favorite non-jacks plus hand, maybe King Jack suited, King 10 suited.
Yeah.
9-10 suited.
9-10 of clubs is
There.
mine.
That's
Oh,
yours.
9-10 is fine.
9-10.
I won $1 million with the hand. I lost probably half of that back. Thinking it was the nuts. that
It
I-
comes and goes.
Yeah.
It still is. Sounds like you're still at 500K.
I think I'm still up with 5-3 diamonds though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A diamond specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
I won a big hand with 3-5 of diamonds against
Yeah.
Antonio in World Series of Poker Europe. He still bitches about it to this day.
Ostapchenko limping in. Shak checks his option. Waiting for the next big clash. That finally got the chat going.
I mean, the table too. We lost Andress, and they've been a little bit, chattier as a bunch here.
I check raised them all in on a 2-diamond board with 3-5 of diamonds. He had King 10 of diamonds. And I hit like an offsuit 3 or 5 on the river.
Yeah.
And he just... And he
Won it
was,
the hard way.
he was like the chip leader before the hand. And
Then he wasn't.
no, he was... I still hear about it.
Taught him a lesson.
Yeah. Natural 8, pretty good.
Yeah.
How many did we draw? 4?
4.
4 again.
Alex agrees with me on 4 or 5 suited, but he said 4 or 5 suited got me 2 royal flushes, and so now I'm just very confused as to what's going on. I mean, technically, I guess you could be dealt 4 or 5 suited, and the board runs out a royal flush, and that would maybe qualify for what he's saying, but generally, I'm very confused, Alex.
Poker is a confusing game. Andrews here, making it 80,000. Ostapchenko calling and Shak in the small one with ace-7 off.
10 seconds.
Given how Shak has approached this final table, I would expect him to just fold this hand. Yeah.
Time extension.
King 3, 10, rainbow. Andrews with by far the best of it. You like her slowing down here on this type of texture?
Yeah, I think it's fine. You know, partly don't want to blow the pot. Partly I don't think you need a ton of protection here with your hand specifically. You know, your opponent probably never has the better kings, the ace kings of the world. You block hands like queen jack if you want to think about like, oh, I might need some protection against certain draws. There's no flush draw out there. It's very disconnected. So I do like this approach from Cherish. Now, of course, though, just got to start going for that value.
Can we wait for him to come back? Can we wait for him to come
Wait
back?
for him to come back.
Oh,
Wow. Landon Tice just doing.
I mean, he's a big boy.
Yeah,
He can make it back.
exactly. Run faster. The road to the championship is on. The top 40 eligible players of the season-long leaderboard qualify for the $1 million PGT Championship. Starting stacks are based on leaderboard position, and you at home listening to this can win a seat. See exclusive Dream Seat opportunities for fans and viewers over at pgt.com/dream-seat. So if you're not checking that out, you're missing out. One of the ways to give yourself a chance is to play a hand on playpokergo.com. Just saying. And you can see other opportunities out there on Dream-Seat on the PGT website.
Do we know who they were waiting for?
I want to say Ostapchenko ran to the bathroom. That's what I'm thinking happened.
Got it.
But I could be wrong because we were not seeing the full table at the time. But
Well, no, it couldn't have been Ostapchenko because he was in that hand.
oh, he was in the hand. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So it was either Dan Shak or Laskowitz.
The big mystery.
And in the case of Dan Shak, I would tell Landon that Dan Shak is wearing 2 watches. Okay, so he knows what time it is. There was one on each hand.
all in.
Landon Tice comes
6:45.
with the jam. Ace check offsuit. Good bit of timing here.
I got you.
Nah, I had 7-6 suited.
We were gonna see what was gonna happen.
That's live cards.
Did you show?
I shoved, yeah.
No, show.
Hmm. I showed, yeah, ace jack.
Shout out to Corn Salad and Autumn Eve. Also moderator Jake, of course, over on PokerGo.com, tuning in.
Ostapchenko maintaining his lead here. 39 hands into this final table. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please smash the like button. Let's get us to 100 likes on the video. Appreciate you all for hanging out. All these games are made up, Donnie.
That is true. That is very true.
Tice with ace-5 suited.
We know Tice loves the ace-5 suited.
A solver darling, and there he
There it
goes.
is.
Yep. Ace-5 suited jam comes in, and Ostapchenko with the quick release. And just like that, Tice wins back-to-back hands.
I would lose so much respect if Tice had ace-5 or ace-4 suited and like ultimately didn't try and get his money in.
You probably have to screenshot that and put it out on social media.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Welcome back, Mr. Shak. Pocket 10s.
10 seconds.
He's just going to come with the jam. Again, not wanting to raise small. Still feel like that might be a missed opportunity. Let someone else make the mistake.
I mean, I think 10s play fine. Post.
Strong yet vulnerable hand.
Black?
Tens.
Oh, 10. I like,
Hmm?
I like pocket 25.
Yeah, I was thinking about my answer just now.
Who
so
doesn't
I'm
like
thinking
pocket 10s? Come on.
Ace 5 suited better.
Than 10s?
No, like for favorite hand.
Oh.
I think I like ace 4, ace 5 more than 6-5, but it's close.
If you guys are ever on playpokergo.com,
Do a lot of things. Like, you
just
get to,
look
like,
for
choose your own adventure.
PokerGo Donnie, or I have a custom avatar on there. You know, sick brag, of course, but
I mean, I would rather.
that's me, and I will be playing. I play every single day, whenever I can. Tice with the king 10, comes in with the raise. Blinds are up to 25,000, 50,000. Dan Shak with a certainly defendable 10-9 suited out of the big blind. Sit down and play PokerGo.com. Make a straight on my first hand. It's a good life. Couple of clubs out there favoring Shak, but the ace-high texture going to be something that I would expect Landon Tice continues on. And Shak's just going to go for it here.
That's my favorite hand.
I'm ahead, but I was gonna lose. 10 out of clubs, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I just said it.
I thought he was gonna show 3-5 for a second.
Yeah, 3-5 of clubs, same.
Yeah.
If it was 3-5 of diamonds, we'd have a problem.
Cat Herder hopping into the
Your
PokerGo
name is
chat.
on
I
there.
see you. Vishal said, somebody call, please. Call what? Call who? Call when?
You would be
Don't forget to
spot
hit that like
Oh.
button if you guys are watching on the PokerGo
Like,
YouTube
wow,
channel.
Okay.
The more
Got it.
engagement, the better. Let's
Backdoor wheel
go.
draw is good.
Max said, shout out to the commentators because this table would be boring without them. Thank you, Max. But it's not that boring. I mean, poker's fun.
You have to find the beauty in it yourself sometimes, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
What I often do when I'm like running around the house doing whatever, and I just have it on in the background, is I try to just make decisions for people, you know? I would do this, I would do that, you know? And then try to learn from the players and or commentators.
Cat Herder and PokerGo said, thanks for bringing back tourneys.
Oh,
So what do you guys prefer, tournaments or cash games? I want to know.
you're speaking Donnie's language. Donnie is a cash game hater.
Yeah, I mean, yes. But I still watch a lot of cash games. To me, I put cash games on, like they're almost like background noise for me. Whereas tournaments, I just think that the strategic element is greater, so I pay attention much more.
I mean, I think the urgency of tournaments make them exciting in a different way. Where during a cash game, you're waiting for that big build-up between two players, the big pot to come, 6 figures, whatever. But in tournaments, the stakes for me don't even have to be that high for it to be exciting, because you know you're gonna get it knocked out. You gotta leave the room. You're not allowed to stay.
I mean, part of what I want to see happen in a cash game, and I mean, I understand why it doesn't happen, but
All in.
I want to see like a true high-stakes cash game. Hold on.
Wow.
We're all in on a call.
Pause. Pause the conversations. We've got Landon Tice all in at risk with pocket fives in a great situation here versus ace-5 of hearts. It was Ostapchenko who made it 100,000. Tice jammed for the third time after Ostapchenko opened, but he wagged a finger and said, no, 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 not today. I'm going to look you up. And the flop comes 9-9 deuce, 2 clubs. Ostapchenko looking for an ace and an ace only. No hearts. Backdoor wheel is available, but still, this looks great for Landon Tice. Queen of clubs on the turn.
Bad turn.
Now some counterfeit outs here. An ace or a queen.
80-20?
86% for Landon Tice. River card. The jack of diamonds, it's paint, but it's safe.
Should be 720, but let me check.
And Landon Tice now up to 1.5 million, and we are looking at a very, very even match, Donnie. Look at the stack sizes. Everyone with at least $1 million, no one over 1.6. And with these blinds, this truly is anyone's game.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch how the dynamic shifts now. Early on, we had the big chip leader Laskowitz. Then we had the big chip leader Ostapchenko. Now, even though there is a little bit of separation between Tice and Ostapchenko over the rest of the field, they're all 20 to 30 bigs. So very condensed here with 5 players left. I would expect play to slow down quite a bit. Meaning we could be here a while. I will say that maybe we should think about lowering that monitor because players' necks are going to be hurting with all the looking up that they're doing.
Open-ended here for Andrews. Or excuse me, for Laskowitz with ace-9. Andrews with a backdoor spades. Donnie, with how similar the stacks are now, does it sort of force players to be a bit tighter?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could maybe make the case that maybe because you don't have a short stack, maybe you can kind of just play normal poker, right? And if you're in that middling area, which now kind of everyone's in that middling area, maybe you don't have to lock it up so much and be worried about, you know, a pay jump and ICM and that sort of stuff. On the other side, you know, it could just cause everyone to kind of pull back on the reins a little bit. So I can see it really going either way. I think it probably favors Tice the most if I were to pick anyone. I think Shak is just going to do his thing, right? Laskowitz, I think, is going to be pretty steady overall. He might be feeling it a little bit, the fact that he came in with basically double his stack, and he's down, you know, half of it. Tice, once he gets chips like he has now, I think we might see him just start to really open it up. You know, he wins kind of one pot here in the next little bit. He overtakes Ostapchenko, and he might just really start to increase the aggression, increase the aggression, increase the aggression.
Well, Laskowitz has never been known to shy away from the action, and he's going to make the call again here to see a river card. And it comes in. 5 of spades gives him a straight. Cherish Andrews left with just queen high. Is this a bluffable river for Andrews?
I'm going to say no. I think, you know, on the button, Laskowitz can have a lot of straight cards here. He can have a lot of 9s in his range. I mean, she might go for it because she probably doesn't think she has any showdown value whatsoever here. I think she can certainly connect with this out of the big blind in the way that she can represent full houses and whatnot. But obviously, this is just not going to work.
Andrews betting 280. And Laskowitz just going to come with the call. He's going to show his 9 and chip up to 1.6 million. And Andrews now, the short stack on 630,000. All these hands have such a huge impact on the tournament as a whole, as Laskowitz now takes back the chip lead.
And also Laskowitz on that river, you know, he can't really raise. He's kind of just handcuffed to just calling. If he raises, you know, what are you achieving? Are you ever going to get called by worse? And the answer to that is highly likely no. So, you know, you just call with your straight. There's even better straights that beat you, obviously full houses, of course. So it's just better to just be calling there than thinking about raising.
10 seconds.
Tice limping on the button. No signs yet of that aggression you spoke of, Donnie. But perhaps the limp is there to, I don't know, maybe get some flop aggression going.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just is trying to kind of defend against possible 3-bets or bloating a pot when you have Ostapchenko, the other big stack, in the big blind.
And with King Jack 3 showing, Tice happy to bet here, and his king, well disguised, Ostapchenko with an inferior king, in some trouble here potentially, coming with the check raise.
Yeah, Ostapchenko trying to, you know, apply some protection to his hand on a texture like this where there's spades, there's some possible straight draw combinations out there.
Turn card is the 4 of spades. Perhaps this thing will show the slow the action down a bit. Quick check from Ostapchenko. Action now on Tice. 450 in the middle.
Now it's, you know, Tice's turn where he might want to charge a little bit here, not give like some one spade hands, you know, free equity to the river. And he's going to come very small.
Quick call from Ostapchenko. 9 of spades on the river. 4th spade out there. This will lead to a lot of check-check, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, I don't think Landon's going to opt to turn his hand into
good.
a bluff.
Bad.
Does go check-check. Ostapchenko announces king. Tice wondering how good, and his 10 kicker will play. So Landon Tice chipping up, and he now the new chip leader. It's just everyone gets the chance to be the chip leader for a while. All right, action still going strong here. 5 players remaining, battling for the top spot. While you're watching, please take a moment and head on over to octopypoker.ai, because this is the next generation study system for everyone, from casual players to elite pros like Steven Chitwick. It's a fun-to-use, affordable, and full of features. Head on over to octopypoker.ai and check it out right now. If you want to get better at poker, that's the best place to start. $47,500 up top for the winner. $8,000 bounty on the heads of each player. So if you go on a bit of a run here, this tournament could net you over 90K, which is pretty cool for a 5K buy-in. There's my hands. 10-9 suited.
10 seconds.
Yeah, Shaq can just call this one in position, blind versus blind. He does just that.
Queen 6-6. If we're Shaq, how do we navigate situations like this with perhaps some assumed aggression already from Ostapchenko?
I mean, I think you're probably just going to have to shut it down. I mean, you don't even have like one spade out there for some backdoor flush draw visibility. Now, if the queen was a jack on Jack 6-6, then depending on bet size, maybe you opt to peel, you know, partial float to try and turn some backdoor equity there. But yeah, that sort of texture just not working with your hand, and Ostapchenko is just gonna go to town against a more passive opponent. I think yesterday we were heads up at this point. Right?
Yeah. Oh, no, we were done by this point yesterday.
There's a nice one for Cherish. Ace King. 11.5 bigs. Oh my gosh, Shaq has aces.
No way. Oh my God.
What a cooler.
Insane cooler. Cherish Andrews with a monster hand. Hoping for some action, and she's going to get it. And Shaq is just going to flat. I mean, if Laskowitz, Donnie, had anything remotely interesting here, we might have seen him shove given the stack sizes.
Yeah, I mean, in the very least, if he has anything interesting, he's coming along, so you got to play your aces 3 ways out of position, which I don't totally hate. You know, going back to what I said earlier, the shorter you are, you can kind of increase that risk to hopefully try and win a big pot and give yourself a double up. Well, this is over.
God. Ace 6-5. The case ace on the flop. Cherish Andrews in a disgusting spot.
And she has the king of clubs. I mean, this is just
what a joke this game is sometimes. Andrews just hoping for Shaq to have something. And Shaq is just playing it safe, not wanting to lose his customer. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. This is like watching a car crash in slow motion.
Yeah, I mean, you know it's coming.
You know those...
Is the money going to go in here, or is it going to go on the river?
Those crash test dummies that drive into a wall going 90 miles an hour in super slow-mo? That's what this is. Cherish Andrews thinking she has the goods here, and oftentimes she will. But this is just brutal. And Shaq moves all in. Andrews makes the call. She's going to be drawing dead.
What a scam.
Yeah, it is a scam.
That is such a scam.
What a scam, she says, and I
kind of agree with her.
I have to agree with her. What a ripoff.
Waiting for you.
4 of hearts on the river. I mean,
Queen 5 of...
The sour look on Cherish Andrews' face is one we all understand. GG to her.
calling. Maybe you almost got me for the 50.
She'll collect 12,200 along with her bounty money.
GG.
And Dan Shak, 8K bounty going his way, up to 1.4 million. And we got 4 very equal stacks battling it out for the top spot. What a gross way
This is really
to go out.
4-horse race right now.
A lot of horses, a lot of races. Alan, can I move over? Can I move over?
Yeah.
I can move. Probably.
Landon Tice needs some additional
So link.
leg space. As we look briefly here at the standings, not much between the final 4.
The
37 bigs for the
bounty,
big
so,
stack,
each one gets
29
bigger as you
for
eliminate more people.
the small stack.
Your own bounty gets bigger as you eliminate.
Oh, I understand. And then you give up half of it
Yeah.
if you get knocked out.
So 8K bounties
Can I move over here?
for each
slightly,
player.
or-
Dan Shak just collected one.
Yeah, cool.
Ostapchenko did so as well.
Cherish's amount there, 14K. The first bounty awarded once they got down to 25% was 6K. And then everything else after that was 8K. So she won the very first bounty and then scored another one after that. So ultimately took home 14K in bounties.
Ace King 3. Action back on the way. Tice pairing his king in this limped pot between the two blinds. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win this, because it's literally anyone's game. I should put a poll in the chat on YouTube. Action gets checked on the flop, and on the turn here,
10 seconds.
not much excitement developing. Let's see, Landon Tice protect his pair of kings here. Gets checked again. Deuce pairs on the river. Tice left with the best hand.
I'd like to see Landon now go for some value. Yeah, I think you can target a 3. I think you can even target maybe some queen highs.
King.
And he does get paid off. Well done.
Look at this. Landon Tice getting value where it matters in spots where it is easy to just check back. I feel like for sort of beginning players or players that don't play for a living, it is so easy to just tell yourself, I'm just going to check back and, you know, whatever. I don't want to risk it.
Especially in, you know, big spots like this where you don't want to make mistakes.
Speaking of big spots, PlayPokerGo.com is the home of free online poker, and it's where you can win a dream seat to play in the PGT $1 million championship. Download the free PlayPokerGo app or head to PlayPokerGo.com, create an account, and play a single hand to get automatically entered for a chance to win a dream seat into the PGT Championship. No purchase necessary. A purchase will not improve your odds of winning. Must be 21 or older and a U.S. resident to enter. Full rules and details at PokerGo.com/rules. PlayPokerGo.com. Go check it out. Fun action, very fast. Fast poker is the name of the game. Laskowitz comes with 110 on the button, and Ostapchenko now with a playable ace in the big blind. King 9-8. Ostapchenko pairs his 9. Action gets checked. 6 of diamonds on the turn. Gut shot now for Laskowitz as Ostapchenko's pair stays good.
And a 10 comes in on the end. Gives Laskowitz the winner here.
And Ostapchenko waits all the way until he's beat. Laskowitz makes the call, and he's going to receive this pot. You understand Ostapchenko's the way he played this hand, passive approach, flop and turn, and then leading river?
Yeah, I mean, I think the river is kind of blockish, slash value, like kind of merging there. I don't know if you're folding out better, though. I mean, Laskowitz called with the 10. I don't think you're folding out those hands, but maybe you can get some value from ace high. Maybe.
Raise 175.
All right, an ace here. This is going to be interesting. Just going to fold.
Wow, Dan Shak so cautious. Donnie, is
I mean,
it-
I
is this-
know that we could see the cards, but like, we've also seen the cards the other times when Ostapchenko's had like what 9 deuce and 5 deuce, and like, you know, he's clearly taking a very polar approach to his small blind raising against big blind, and an ace there is just like, I feel like you have to call one.
That's.
I mean, you're still deep enough now at this point. Now that you've generated some chips, like, just take one off. No big deal. You got an ace.
Dan Shak being very patient. So far, his patience has been rewarded. King 3 off for Shak. A hand you could attack with.
10 seconds.
Just going to limp in. Donnie, how do you decide with hands like this whether to limp or raise? Because I've seen you know, all different kinds of approaches.
With a hand like king 3.
King 3 in a small, or is it often a fold as well?
I don't think you're ever folding king 3.
10 seconds.
I mean, if you want to raise it, you're kind of taking that big little property. You know, you're blocking some premiums with the big hand, or the big card. I should say not the big hand. And you're unblocking kind of all that middle stuff. But with a hand like a king 3 off, this deep with where these stacks are, I think you're just going to get called a lot in position, and then king 3 probably isn't going to be that playable post. Like, you're not going to flop that well. So I do like taking just a limp approach here, but I also generally, in my strategy, exercise a lot of limping from the small blind, probably like too much, but like the player pools that I'm necessarily in, I like to take that approach versus, you know, trying to mix in more raising. I'm more of like a limp. Hopefully they check depending on what I have, or if I have a hand that I would raise with, I'll limp anyway. If they raise, then I'll re-raise. Like so. And Shak's gonna call down at least one street here with this king high.
250 in the middle. Laskowitz with his paired ace, looking to extract value on 2 streets here. Can't imagine him ever checking back. Gonna try and make some money here. And 125 is the bet. Half pot from Laskowitz. Shak has seen Laskowitz table some bluffs. This is a unraised pot in the blind battle. Shak asking himself, is he really just trying to rep this ace here? Is my king high going to be good some of the time here? But decides better of it. Laskowitz going to take this one down.
Just had a feeling you had queen high and then you hit a queen.
Better.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
This is the last hand, yeah?
No,
So when you had like queen of diamond, like
yeah, some
flush.
reason I thought you were betting some sort of random queen. You probably would have checked behind if you had a queen. Just because there was no point in betting it.
Probably.
I figured you had an ace and I mean, I couldn't even beat a 5, so just fine.
10 seconds. Call. Option.
We're on break after this hand.
Dan Shak is destroying the set. We're not going on break, by the way, just so the people at home watching understand. We always fast forward through those. Jack, Jack, Ace, Tice flopping trips and also flopping Laskowitz stone dead. Not much to play for, though, but I can imagine that Tice might slow play this one. Just 50K here, and Laskowitz's hand is so poor that this is going to end up in the muck right away. No breaks here. Let's go into a quick commercial as we fast forward
check back, but I had it.
through this break, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, baby. Get yourself a coffee. See you in a few seconds.
This season, survival gets real. One team, one pick. Last to survive takes home the whole prize.
And there you have it. Time travel. It is real. It exists because we are able to do it. Back to the final table action of event number 3 of the 2025 PGT Bounty Blitz. Landon Tice, our chip leader, with 2 million. Jeremy Becker winning event 1. It'd be so fitting if Landon Tice, the yin to his yang, style-wise, is able to take this one down, but we are not close to that just yet, as the players are in a pretty even battle. 21 bigs for Dan Shak, the short stack. Laskowitz second in chips with 28 big blinds. Would you give Tice a real advantage here, Donnie, or are the stacks just too close?
I give him an advantage. Not real big, but I think the fact that 1, he has that lead, 2, we know how good Landon Tice is. I think he's going to be a tough cookie to overcome here. Also think that, you know, today in the moment, he's played very, very well.
10 seconds.
125,000.
King Jack off for Shak. Raises it up. Blinds now, by the way, 30K, 60K. With the 60K big blind ante. Deuce 3 rainbow on the flop. Ostapchenko defended from the big blind, now faced with a bet of 75,000. Just gonna check call with just 10-7 off. Donnie, are we game planning for Shak to potentially be on the tighter side? Ostapchenko perhaps being able to stab a lot of rivers if Shak checks back the turn in a scenario like this?
140,000.
Well, I am surprised to see him stab here on a jack. I thought probably just snap all in. I thought any turn card 8 or lower, we probably see a stab from Ostapchenko. I am a little bit surprised there to see him on a jack to come out with a lead.
Shak up to 1.7 million. Ostapchenko now below $1 million. What would you like to have seen Shak do there? Just call and give Ostapchenko a chance to bluff river?
I mean, yeah.
120.
120,000.
I mean, that's obviously just not Shaq style. He plays every hand fast, you know. I mean, other than the aces. That was the only one.
10 seconds.
Only because my cards hit the last flop.
Field player.
Yep.
To the max, baby.
Just got to feel it. Merstyle in the chat convinced Tice is going to win, and the poll says the same. 42% thinks that Landon Tice is going to take this down. Well, he's got a good chance at it. Did hear him say he doesn't have time and he's going out of town, so he can't play the next event. But
120.
it would be nice to cap off the series with a win. Tice, by the way, winner of a 3K just a couple weeks ago at Seminole for 124,000. So he's been having a good second part of his summer.
10 seconds.
Also cashed in 2 high rollers during the WSOP. Whistling, not one of my favorite sounds, but hey, you win some, you lose some.
Who was whistling?
Laskowitz. I used to have a soccer coach growing up. He would like whistle like with his like fingers, like some I don't even know how he did it. And it was so freaking loud.
Yeah.
And he would do it to like get your attention on the pitch. It was wild. It also helped that the level that I played at was so low that the only people watching were my parents. So it wasn't like he needed to be all that loud to get my attention. 120 from Ostapchenko.
10 seconds.
Tice is going to defend from the big blind with 6-3 offsuit. Can we confidently defend almost anything here? 6-3 off is it's definitely sort of scraping the barrel a little bit, perhaps.
I mean, yeah, it is, but I don't know. Part of it, I feel like Tice is starting to feel it.
Oh.
Like he's got the chip lead, yes, but you know when you're kind of locked in, maybe you step outside the boundaries a little bit. I think 6-3 is, I would put it outside the boundary. Suited, yes, of course you're in there. Offsuit, don't mind the full, but again, maybe it changes with the bounty element too. I mean, I don't know the full bounty stuff, but if you are able to hit big and stack your opponent, that's added incentive, of course, because there's AK bounties at play, so that might play into it as well. Tricky spot here for Laskowitz.
$300.
I like it.
Laskowitz turning the screws here on Dan Shak, who snap folds.
If I were to try and put myself into the mind of Laskowitz right there, I would think your first thought is, oh, it's Dan Shak raising under the gun, right? And then your second thought is, well, I can probably 3-bet this hand. It is 4-handed, so let's do it. But I also think that, you know, part of you is like, the way that Dan has been playing so far, he's been on the conservative side a lot. So, you know, you might get a little gun shy there, but good for Laskowitz for sticking to his guns and putting in that 3-bet.
120.
$120 now from Tice. Shak with a defendable queen jack suited. Are there various ways to play this, or are some of these situations like this automatic calls where we don't often decide to 3-bet?
I think this is a pretty automatic call. I mean, your hand, I think you want to go post. Like, let's say you do decide to 3-bet it. You get jammed on. You know, you can't call off with your hand. Let's say if you take another approach where you just decide to 3-bet rip. Well, are you ever getting called by worse? No. So that's another bad outcome. You just like going to the flop. You also dominate a lot of the hands that Landon Tice, as the aggressive chip leader on the button, is going to open. He's going to open a fair amount of jacks. He's going to open a fair amount of queens. And if it comes queen or jack high, you have a chance to double through them.
Movies?
Yeah.
I used to work at a production company.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started a couple years ago with my friend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you guys?
Yeah. We made a few, some animated films. You could just go to liaisonpicture.com and
that's pretty cool.
check out what we've done. A few ducks.
Nice.
Like some short films or mostly like
Short films, some features.
Well, I know what I'm doing later.
You heard the man. Liaisonpictures.com. Andrew Ostapchenko's
Is it, were you a lawyer
project.
No, this was before that.
Before that?
Yeah, that's like why I went to law school. I thought I wanted to be like an agent. Like
Yeah.
to work at like CAA or.
My son-in-law's an agent at
Really?
CAA.
I potentially could have worked there.
I'm on the website right now, and it looks phenomenal.
Not sure it was,
Liaisonpictures.com. You gotta check it out. They got some incredible looking films on there, both animated and I guess more traditional. Ostapchenko, the co-founder of Liaison Pictures.
Yeah, that's like why I went to law school in the first place. I kind of thought I wanted to be like an agent.
Do you think you'll ever get back into it or try to go down that path again?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I did hear Vegas is supposed to become the next Hollywood.
I did like.
I feel like I hear that every year.
Production financing and like distribution.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a small. I just basically read scripts all day and wrote coverage and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like when I was like 21.
Yeah, when I graduated, I was deciding whether to go down like the film route, maybe become a cinematographer or go into poker. Decided I wanted to do poker and would get back into film later on.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, now you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of love hearing some more of that background on both Laskowitz and Ostapchenko. Definitely gotta check out some of those films.
125. Time extended.
Shak on the button raising with ace-6 off. How much pressure is Shak able to withstand with a hand like that? Or are we just raise folding here almost always just because it's too uncomfortable to proceed in any sort of way?
Yeah, I think it's ultimately going to be in the raise fold bucket should someone fire back with some more aggression. But on the button with an ace, you know, when you get down to these deeper tournaments and you have, you know, ICM implications and whatnot, your range tends to shift where you start favoring hands that have like high card blocker properties, so aces, kings, stuff like that. So an ace-6 on the button, yeah, you know. I mean, you can navigate it post comfortably in position. And how about that? He might just double through here.
Wow. Ace-King-6 rolls off after Landon Tice decides to call from the big blind. And Shak with 2 pair. He's got a lock on this one.
125.
And as the pre-flop aggressor here on the button, you know, Shak is going to continue on this texture, I think, quite a bit. And Tice knows that. So I can't imagine Tice is going to go anywhere right now. Does call.
Eight of spades on the turn. Donnie, given Shak's image, is there any way in which Tice loses the minimum here?
350.
350,000.
Yeah, I mean, I think that anytime you see Dan Shak go multiple streets, your spidey senses got to start kind of going a little bit crazy. Now, if he ultimately goes 3 streets, I would be going like kind of bonkers in my mind. Like, what's he got over there? You know, I think 2 streets. Right now, Tice is probably thinking about it. Like, okay. But on the other hand, maybe he's barreling off with like a Jack 10 of hearts, Queen Jack of hearts, something like that. You know, so you kind of have a little bit too much of a hand. Maybe on the turn here you make an exploit fold, but we also know Tice isn't really an exploit player. He's just going to kind of do what the sim always says. So I think here he thinks he just has too much hand that he can fold.
And look at this. Shak jams for 600K into 1.3 million, less than half the pot. How many times have we seen Dan Shak triple barrel bluff because Landon Tice is left here with the bluff catcher?
Yeah, I mean, he's never doing this with a king. Of course, there aren't any worse aces out there.
How much is it?
So you're really targeting just pure bluffs. So the hearts, you know, Jack 10 of hearts, Queen Jack of hearts, stuff like that. You know, those combo draw hearts, I think, are probably in there.
Big decision for Landon Tice. I mean, I'm so results-oriented because I can see the cards. But does Dan Shak ever bluff here is what I'm wondering. I don't think he will. And Tice makes the call with ace-3, and he's going to see the bad news. Dan Shak up to 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Landon Tice takes a massive hit.
Yeah, listen, I know what you're saying where we can see the cards and we can be results-oriented, but, you know, sometimes when it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's just a goddamn duck, man. Like, I'm sorry. And I would say player-specific to Dan Shak, he tends to lean on the more conservative side. So, yeah, I think you do have to try and find the fold there.
King 10.
Dan Shak, our new chip leader, by quite the margin, and Landon Tice, who seemingly had a bit of control at this final table, is now basically one of the short stacks.
I probably would go all in. And then call. Yeah.
Back to work for Tice.
Raise.
120.
At least we know that Tice will not be affected in his playing style by past results, which I think is a very important skill to have in the game of poker, as we see Ostapchenko find the shovable hand.
Yeah, this one should get through.
9-15.
Ace-10-5 between Shak and Laskowitz. Laskowitz pairing his 5. Shak with the unclean gut shot with 2 hearts being out there.
Laskowitz looks to bet this one. On 1, ace-high board is the under-the-gun razor. Can certainly continue here. If Dan Shak were to have very, very good hands, I think it's probably centered around ace-5 and 5s, which you block. So that's good as well. Hello.
Wow, that makes life easier.
Oh, yes.
Trips on the turn, even though a 3rd heart comes in. Shak will most likely be done with this hand.
$220.
220,000.
Laskowitz takes it down on the turn. It is now up to over 2 million as well. So now we have the haves and the have-nots. 2 2 million chip stacks and 2 1 million chip stacks. Every player with an $8,000 bounty on their head. This is the 3rd final table of the inaugural PGT Bounty Blitz series. Now, if you want to have a chance to play in one of our signature end-of-year events, True Classic and PokerGo are giving 15 players a shot at a $5,000 package to compete here in the studio. Head to trueclassictees.com/tcpokergo or scan the QR code on your screen to enter. That is trueclassictees.com/tcpokergo. Tell your story and take your shot. Don't miss out. $7-5-5. Not exciting for anyone. Laskowitz, Donnie, has to be kind of a big favorite at this point. In position against the other big stack. And the other big stack also being a more conservative player. Laskowitz, someone with the ability to get creative. So I'm heavily favoring him right now.
Yeah, I mean, 20 minutes ago, I would say Tice was a decent favorite.
My partner's from Atlanta.
Oh, I see.
Now it's swinging the other way.
He comes out to LA all the time.
Two very pretty looking hands for four-handed play, especially as Tice defends with ace-7 suited. Only to see king 10-7 on the flop. Ostapchenko with ace-9 whiffs, but can probably still keep the initiative here.
Favorable turn card for Landon, turning backdoor flush draw. Just a black 9 on the end,
Yeah,
of course.
just comes in. Comes in just like that.
Probably goes check, check here. Tice isn't going to like to see it.
Seven.
A bit of a disappointing muck there from Tice. If you're just tuning in, 15,300 guaranteed for the final four in this 5K buy-in, which might not sound like a lot, but the bounties are 8,000 per player, so a large chunk of the buy-in going towards the bounty prize pool. We've lost Cherish Andrews and John Andress from the final table so far. Dan Shak with the cooler of all coolers, aces versus ace-king, to send Andrews to the rail. And Laskowitz with the suited queen, raises on the button.
10 seconds.
Tice from chip leader to short stack over the course of just a few hands. That massive pot versus Dan Shak is going to be one he'll think about for a long time. Ostapchenko in the small line limps in, and ace-king suited for Dan Shak. And he moves all in. Wow. This hand could have played out so differently. Ostapchenko would have maybe even limp shoved here with Jack-10 suited.
I mean, he's probably limp calling at the very least.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that just feels like another opportunity where Shak overplayed his hand and ultimately was only able to win the minimum. I mean, effectively jamming 20 bigs there.
Wow. Dan Shak just taking the shortest route to victory a couple of times here, where perhaps he's missing out on quite a bit. I was totally ready for that to be a massive pot between ace-king and Jack-10. Like, I was just literally sitting up straight, being like, okay, here we go. This is going to be a fun one. Donnie, I know you're a huge NFL fan, and I know that the first game of the season is tonight, so I need to bring it up. What's the collective going to do this year? Because I know that Gridiron Gamble is going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we do well and win $1 bazillion. I mean, I'm not going to, hold my breath over it, but we're in both the Survivor contest and the Picks contest, so,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, I did a lot of my research earlier today, a little bit last night as well for the first week, of course.
130.
130.
I mean, we're always going to be a little bit contrarian with everything that we do. I'll just say that I think this week we're probably all going to be on the Giants versus the Commanders. I think we all feel that the Commanders maybe overachieved a little bit last year, won a lot of really close games. They had that Hail Mary, you know, that one sticks out, of course. And the Giants could be a little bit improved. That defensive front should be very strong. So, you know, a little bit of a teaser there, I guess, into what we're going to be looking to do.
And you guys are still doing the podcast.
We are doing the podcast. First episode will be taped this evening once we get the heck out of here.
Okay, so there you go. If you are a big...
We have a YouTube channel, too, by the way.
There you go.
Gridiron Gamble on YouTube. You guys might know the names. Rich Ryan, Mo Noir, Brett Carlson. They've all worked in poker for many times. They're good friends with Remco and I. We've done this podcast for, I think it's either our 10th or 11th year.
Wow, that many already.
Yeah, so we entered the Vegas sports betting contest, and we talk about our picks and our process the whole way. So it's not really like straight gambling advice or betting advice because there's a contest element involved. So like sometimes we'll be like, okay, if we think the contest is going to do this, maybe we'll do this other thing, you know, for some sort of added leverage and to be contrarian with it all. So, you know, if you want to come support, would love to have you guys as listeners. Gridiron Gamble.
Didn't have it. I didn't have it.
Yeah, I did.
You can find it on all your various podcast catchers. Again, you can find it on the PokerGo, or on the PokerGo. You can find it on YouTube. I was going to say you can find it on the PokerGo YouTube channel, which is not true.
I mean, it won't take much for me to beat you in the pot, but yeah.
You can find the PokerGo podcast on the YouTube channel, though. You guys are back. I saw 2 new episodes recently.
I had a hand that even if you had it, I could still beat some stuff.
One, we compared PGT players to wrestlers. Is that much of a downtime?
That's how quiet it's been in poker.
I mean, there wasn't really anything going on. It actually was, Tim wanted to talk about the PGT schedule. And I was like, well, that's way too boring, dude. I'm not just going to ramble off schedules and times and events and whatever.
8:25.
So we got to try and make it fun. So came up with that little gimmick. Money's going to get in here. Likely a chop, but of course we'll see what Mr. Shak has.
On.
Wow.
Nothing.
This is leaning towards being a chop pot, but obviously we've got all suits live right here.
You both feel pretty scammed.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, then I was in bad shape.
You want your cards back, probably.
10 deuce. I mean, not really.
Probably want them back.
10 dudes probably going to win this. Let's be real. All right. Flop comes out. 4, 5, 6. Spades. 2 spades. So Tice here on the free roll. Looking for backdoor spades. Nah. That's not going to be there. 5 and an 8. So 10 dudes would have not won.
Chop up Dan's money.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's
you're like yes, I got. He wanted to raise.
Like, yes, I get a call. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what I'm going to see. How live is he going to be? You know.
Yeah.
Normally very.
Yeah.
The beautiful ace-queen suited for Tice.
All in.
Just going to move it all in. No action. Let's take a look at the overall PGT leaderboard for the 2025 season, presented by the home of free online poker play, PokerGo.com. Michael Mizrachi's up on top, 2,250 points. Also in the top 5, Alex Fox and Sam Soverall, Nick Schulman, And of course, we all know Daniel Negreanu. You guys can check out the full leaderboard over at pgt.com/leaderboard. You can see the full top 40, and that's important because the top 40 players, as ranked by the PGT leaderboard, qualify for the season-ending PGT $1 Million Championship.
Nope.
10 seconds.
Ace Queen off for Dan Shak. And he's just all in.
You got to know when to hold him. You got to know when to fold him. Dan Shak just knows when to shove.
More than 10? And yeah, someone's probably going to lose. 'Cause it's been 2 hands since I said that, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a minute. 20 hands. You reach the majority push fold portion of the tournament. Yeah. Nope.
Ostapchenko limping in. Shak checks his option with ace deuce. King 9 jack, 2 hearts. Gut shot here for Ostapchenko.
80.
80.
Yeah. 15.
Yeah, that was one of the longer ones.
Yeah.
Things are pretty methodical here at this final table as we play 40K, 80K blinds. Now 75 hands into this final table. What a difference with last night's action where Ido and Hooney made quick work of the other players. Shak, king, queen off. He's going to jam again. And he does. He just jams the button with a massive stack. What if Laskowitz finds a hand? I mean, this is pretty wild to me.
I mean, it is, yes. And also, like, you're...
I would have called Sam.
What?
I would have called
You don't
Sam.
give the other players a chance to make any mistakes.
Right.
Like, if they find a king 10,
Been happy about
maybe they decide to get a bit wild and go with it or, you know, something. Maybe he's got somewhere to go. I mean, I don't know.
He's got 2 watches. I mean, he's...
I mean,
Ace-4 off for Shak. I guess this will then fall into the raising category. We're not going to shove right away.
You're 25 short.
I'm short. There we go. Sorry.
$160 from Shak. Two customers with interesting hands. And 4-4-3 rolls off. Ostapchenko with trips, but don't look now as Dan Shak flops trips with the ace kicker, and he's just going to continue right away for 100,000. Tice lucky to have no part of this. Ostapchenko in a world of trouble here. Immediate check raise up to 200,000. What an insane cooler. Again, Dan Shak on the right side of things.
Yeah, with the way that Shak has played this, both betting the flop in combination with the fairly quick call of the check raise, Ostapchenko probably thinks he's got a lot of overpairs here, which Ostapchenko is just going to barrel off into.
200,000 again from Ostapchenko. And Dan Shak announces all in. The snap call from Ostapchenko, and he's down to 2 outs.
Oh, you have a 4.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
What an insane cooler. Again, in Dan Shak's favor, Andrew Ostapchenko has 2 outs to save his tournament life. Otherwise, Dan Shak will collect the $8,000 bounty, and we'll be down to 3. 2.7 million in the middle. What a cooler, and the 8 of hearts on the river is not going to change things. Dan Shak up to 3.6 million. Andrew Ostapchenko out in 4th, taking home 15,300 plus whatever he won in bounties.
And the decimator.
Wow, Dan Shak just on a tear.
You remember yesterday you were like complaining about being short stacked too.
Well, short stack, I had one big blind.
You were like, why am I waiting to get to the thing? This is why now you got the bounty.
Clipping it.
Yeah, big blind.
Here's a look at the standings. Ostapchenko had 16,000 in bounties, sending 2 players to the rail. One being John Andress at this final table. Landon Tice now the short stack on 7 big blinds. And Dan Shak in the driver's seat to take this home. What a turn of events.
Bit of found money for Landon Tice as well. You know, sub 10 big blinds. You see 2 bigger stacks go at it, and you get a pay jump.
And if it was clubs, I was in
No,
trouble.
it's not clubs.
Well, Dan Shak's strategy is working, and when you make best versus second best,
I guess I
it's
should
going
have
to
stayed
go
on
quick.
that side of the table. I fooled the river.
Got it.
It'll fold.
Seven, 6, and 9, 7. Both looking at a bunch of nothing here.
big ones.
You win the big
Take the
ones.
small L's.
That's fair.
Landon Tice probably just excited to wait for a real hand since he's going to get called probably anyway. With that 8K bounty attached to his head. All right, can Dan Shak close this out, guys? Let me know in the chat, because his style today has been very much sort of black or white, you know, all in or fold.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, exactly. Swing for the fences.
All in.
Laskowitz with the jam onto Tice. He just wants to be in a showdown.
Call.
And Tice recognizes that, makes the call with Queen 7.
The computer hand.
I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah, nice.
And I had the second best hand.
Tice all in for
You had the second
505.
best hand?
But I had a 7.
You had a 7? Okay, that's fair. Fair fight.
Landon Tice ahead here, but we are flipping. It comes
Wow.
Queen 7-8.
9. 9 is fair.
2 outs for Laskowitz, or he has to make some sort of backdoor happen here. Turn is the 10 of hearts.
Okay, 9's not fine.
I had 7-10, believe
Okay.
it or not.
9 or an 8 for Laskowitz to send Tice to
Can
the
I sweat
rail.
it? Can you pass it to me? Can I sweat it?
A million chips in the middle.
PG peel?
9 or an 8. Is it out there?
No, 3
4. I can sweat?
They're allowing him to
It's
sweat.
a no side.
It's the 3 of diamonds.
How much is this?
Landon, I love it. Let these players have some fun. Landon Tice
Of course.
doubles
Yeah, it
up.
should be 505. Let me make sure.
Still in the mix.
25. 425, 430, 505. They gonna start letting us do that now for Rivers, or it's a special occasion? Special.
You should 100% be allowed to do it in the triangle.
I won't break the card. I
Main
won't break the
studio,
card on you.
different story, but
No, I
in
won't
here,
do that to you.
we're going to let it fly.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the result is horseshit.
John Marsh says the show deserves more likes. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. Tice limping in on Shaq's big blind.
All in.
He's just gonna jam.
Fold.
Tice gets out of the way. He's learned his lesson.
Is that right?
Yeah, updated.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Fold.
$300.
300,000.
Yeah.
So
Here's a look once again at OccupyPoker.ai. It is the next generation study system for everyone, from casual players to elite pros like Steven Chitwick. It's fun to use, affordable, and full of features. Head on over to OccupyPoker.ai right now and check it out. There's no guarantee your mustache will start growing in like that, but hey, at least you might get better at poker.
No?
I had an ace.
Oh, yeah.
The Marco in the chat says, "Chill dealer." Yeah, yeah. The sweat there was kind of fun. I'm not sure I've seen that before in the tournament, but I do appreciate it.
I'm all for it.
Yep.
10 seconds.
5s on the button from Laskowitz.
180.
180,000.
Oh.
Landon Tice
Good man.
remains the shortest stack. Dan Shak with a huge lead now. Almost 60% of the remaining chips in play. So we are 84 hands into this final table. Thank you all once again for tuning in, whether you're watching on PokerGo or on YouTube or elsewhere. We appreciate you all for hanging out with us. We have 2 more events in the Bounty Blitz series coming up.
I did not. I stayed. If it happens next year, I'll probably go, though.
If it happens next year, like EBT Barcelona hasn't been on the schedule for 20 years.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
If the World Series happens next year, I'll be there.
You guess I was right. Someone busted. I didn't
Queen.
expect it not to be me, to be honest with you.
Queen 9-8, both players with an 8, but a high likelihood of a chop here. If this were to go to showdown, of course, that also unlikely. Donnie, given Shaq's playing style, do you see opportunities for Laskowitz and Tice to sort of chip away at him a little bit over the course of the next hour?
Yeah, I mean, if he makes hands, though, I mean, it's going to be hard to chip away at him, and he has made a fair amount of hands. I would say Laskowitz, most importantly, or most specifically, could chip away at Shaq just because he's got more ammo to work with. You know, if Tice is able to win, let's say, another 5 big blinds or so and have a more manageable stack, then yeah, he can chip away too, but
Big fold there.
Fold an 8?
Yeah. I had the worst possible 8, though.
And you were beat.
Jack 10 off for Dan Shak. I could see him shove here again. The way he's been playing.
10 seconds.
yeah.
200?
200,000.
Instead, he's going to raise up to 200,000. And Landon Tice with a handful of prospects
All in?
in the big blind is going to move all in.
This is like the worst hand I'm going to call with.
And Jack 10 snap call for Dan Shak, and then we got
hoping
Jack
you got
10
it,
versus Ace Deuce. Here comes the flop. Landon Tice tournament life on the line. King, Queen, Deuce to make things exciting. 13 outs,
Fairish.
twice for Dan Shak.
Pair. These pair outs are live.
Open at a straight draw, and both pair cards
4.
are live.
4 is a good card.
Turn card is the
That's
King
good.
of Clubs.
Yeah.
Doesn't really change anything. It's got
I don't need to sweat this one. It's fine. I don't want to sweat everyone. It's kind of sad.
Can Landon Tice do it again?
Low.
Get his second double up, and he does. Deuce on the
7:30,
river.
Make sure.
Landon ties up to 1.6 million and now tied with Sam Laskowitz. So we got a real game again.
6.
Maybe a little 2 versus 1,
7.
Donnie. Landon and Sam being aggressive.
7:30.
Shaq picking his spots to jam. I could see this get real intriguing.
Usually 750. This is fine.
Oh, it's going to get interesting. I mean, it's already interesting now with that double up, but it's going to get even more interesting from here.
Nice hand.
Thanks.
On the button.
Glad I didn't have ace jack.
Would have felt worse.
Yeah, I'd have lost to the deuce.
Yeah, with river duck.
Tice limping in with 10-6. Shaq.
All in.
And there he goes.
Boom.
Comes the jam. Sounds like a chip race-off is coming, also meaning that the blinds are soon to go up.
We're racing off after this.
Or I
There
guess
goes
3 more
that.
hands. Playing 40K, 80K right now.
Guys, look at it.
Shaq limping with King 5 off. Laskowitz in the big line with King 10 suited. I'm really, in my mind, trying to figure out a game plan. How do we play against Dan Shak when he has this chip lead? How do we try and pry some chips out of his hand? Because seemingly, he's totally okay with being tight for a long time. Also totally okay with making big shoves. But I don't see a whole lot in between.
Yeah, I think you can try and chip away at him, knowing that he's really going to be, I think, pretty polar. Like, he's going to just have his big hands and play those, like, fast for big pots. And then other stuff, he's just going to always kind of tread conservatively. You know, whether that be, you know, being a little bit more conservative pre-flop or being a little bit more conservative post-flop or whatever. Like, you know, I think that something you referenced very early on in today's stream is how much Dan Shak always cares, which I think can then translate into your play almost in a negative way at times. Of course, it can be a good thing, yes, but the negative side of caring so much is that maybe it causes you to be a little bit timid in big spots, right? So maybe that's what we see out of Shaq. So I would just try and chip away at him, and then also understand that if we end up playing a big pot, like, you probably got to have something or have a lot of equity, because it's very likely that Dan Shak has a big hand.
Sure.
King.
All right, king on.
It's yours. 10 plays, I believe.
6. King.
Yay.
See that, guys? You can make it to the PGT and still count the cards on your fingers like Sam Laskowitz. Anyone can do it.
All in.
And Shaq, again,
Nope.
with the same approach,
One.
just going to shove.
Good hand.
Doing it with an ace. Look
Yeah, but those hands, like, you want people jamming into you.
Yeah.
So, you know, and three-handed, they play fine post. You'll be okay. Like,
We're going to take like 2 minutes.
you know, you can just make it 160, 180, you know, a little bit of a raise there on the button. Maybe Landon gets a little buck wild out of the big blind. And you just pick them off for the bounty.
You got it. I had 2 low cards. Beats, loses to.
Want to play online poker for free? With PlayPokerGo, you get the thrill of authentic poker anytime, anywhere. From quick casual games to action-packed tournaments, PlayPokerGo lets you compete against real players around the globe, all for free. No bots, no gimmicks, just pure poker fun. Hone your skills and enjoy the poker experience you love. Explore PlayPokerGo on web, iOS, and Android. Deal yourself in now.
Sorry, I'm just a bottle of water.
Welcome back to the PGT Bounty Blitz event number 3, 5K buy-in. Blind's about to go up to 50K, 100K. We're 90 hands into this final table, and it is just anything but over. Dan Shak holds the chip lead, going up against Sam Laskowitz and Landon Tice. Shak with a fit or fold type approach, which has led to some interesting situations. And it's up to Tice and Laskowitz to find out if there's a good strategy against the way Shak has been playing. And look at this, Tice with a conservative fold, ace-3 off into the muck. Do you think that has something to do with the way Shak plays?
Yeah, I think so.
10 seconds.
Nine, 9-7 pairs Shak in this blind battle. Unraised pot. Action goes check, check. Jack of clubs on the turn. Action gets checked down to the river. Shak comes with 100,000 and takes it down without showdown. Playing 30-minute levels here, giving these players plenty of room to battle. Shak on 35 bigs, Laskowitz on 15, Tice on 13. I'm so good at math. In this blind level, I can just totally figure it out.
I love this blind level.
All in.
King deuce, shove from Laskowitz.
All in.
Tice comes to the jam. And Dan Shak finds jacks in the big blind.
First one's good.
The Dan Shak steamroller continues
Wow.
to mow down this final
They're both
table.
as good as each other, which makes it even better.
Landon Tice steps into it. And 9-7 of spades looks pretty decent against most hands that call him there, but not against pocket jacks. Oh, okay. 7-4 queen. 9 or 7 backdoor spades available to Tice.
It's workable.
He's not gone yet. Dan Shak, 78% favored here to get down to heads-up play. 9 on the turn. Landon Tice drills 2 pair. A roll reversal as Tice now an 82% favorite to double up again. Dan Shak with 8 outs to bring us down to heads-up play. River is the 3 of diamonds.
Should be 1.1.
And Landon Tice up to 2.3 million. Completely turns this thing around again.
This is 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 1.1.
The jacket's off. You deliver me one bad beat. It's getting serious in here.
Blood pressure is rising. Dan Shak closing his eyes, dreaming of what could have been. Could have been heads up with 4.6 million to Laskowitz's 1.7. What a complete swing in the way this game is going. All of a sudden, Tice with the advantage in position to Laskowitz with a very playable stack. All stacks now very similar as well.
Yeah, I mean, the variance in poker is always something you have to deal with. And for Dan Shak, you know, that's why you build up a big chip lead in the case that if you do take a bad beat like that, you can absorb it and continue on. So now just got to lock in mentally. Forget about it, move on. Of course, easier said than done from here in the booth, but that's what you got to do. Shaq knows that, though. He's been around the block, of course.
All in.
Jam from Laskowitz into the ace-jack of Tice. There's no way he's folding this. There he goes. Nothing for Shaq, and we're going to have our next all-in showdown. Landon Tice with a chance to bring this event down to heads-up play. I believe Tice has doubled up 3 times at this final table, and now for the first time, he's going to get a chance to knock someone out. Here comes the flop. 7, 4, 6, 2 hearts. Laskowitz looking for a queen or a 10. Landon Tice 2 cards away from being heads up. King on the turn. Doesn't change a thing. Laskowitz still looking for a queen or a 10. River card is the Jack of Spades, and that is it. Landon Tice will go heads up versus Dan Shak as Sam Laskowitz departs in third place, collecting $21,400 for his efforts. And that must leave a bitter taste in his mouth, as at various times during this final table, he was our chip leader. But now, Landon Tice heads up. And look at that stat. Laskowitz made it all the way to the final 3 without busting a player. And he gets no bounty money, just a $21,000 payout, which means he makes less.
This season, survival gets real. One team, one pick. Last to survive takes home the whole prize.
All right, I got a little bit too excited there. Laskowitz makes less money than 4th, 5th, and 6th place, which is kind of insane. Shak and Tice now playing heads up for the $16,000 in bounty money, as well as the $15,000 in payout difference. So we're looking at a 30K heads up match here between two very different styles in our PGT Bounty Blitz. The Event 3 champion is yet to be crowned, but Tice is going to have a big advantage. He's got about a 2-to-1 chip lead, 4.3 million to 2.1 million. Cards in the air. Let's go. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win this.
I mean, another sick finish for Sam Laskowitz. I know third place is ultimately good, but, you know, for him, he's just been close in the studio so often and just stuff doesn't go his way. Add in the fact, as you mentioned, Remco didn't get any bounties, so it's going to sting a little bit more. And now if you're Dan Shak, I mean, listen, on the positive side, you made it to heads-up play. On the other side of things, you're looking over there at a guy who's got you 2-to-1 in chips that you had crushed and was about to be out the door, and you were going to take 2-to-1 into heads-up play.
Oh, my God. Poker's a sick game.
Right.
Do you think Landon Tice feels pressure to close this out?
Slightly, but I think he's generally a pretty easygoing guy. Ace-3 suited.
Deuce 5-6 all hearts. I have a feeling that Tice is just going to win the majority of pots here with some aggression during heads-up play, and Shak's going to have to find some hands. Quiet inside the streaming studio. Both players focused on a task at hand. No time for niceties. We got a lot more poker coming up. 2 more final tables of the Bounty Blitz tomorrow and on Saturday. And then next week, the PGT continues with our inaugural PGT Venetian Classic. It's a 3K event with $1 million guarantee. That event also counts for PGT standings. Dan Shak with 21 big blinds, still has got room to maneuver and be patient.
He's been drinking out of that same Starbucks cup the whole time. I mean, there's nothing in there.
You got to just nurse the ice, Donnie. You got to nurse it sometimes.
Yeah.
Ace check off for Tice. Super premium during heads up play.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and Shak just jams. Landon Tice snaps it off. Fair fight here, Donnie. Ace Jack versus King 10.
This is a fair fight, yeah.
60-40s happen all the time.
All right. 60-40, give or take. Landon Tice, a clean run out of the way from winning an event here at the Bounty Blitz. Or can Dan Shak double up and take the chip lead? King comes in for Dan Shak. Very slim pickings here for Tice to win this one. Tice looking for an ace or backdoor clubs.
That makes it a little more interesting.
Queen on the turn gives him additional outs as well. Ace or a 10 to close it
You
out.
can give him 2 pair, it's okay.
Don't give me 2 pair.
Give him 3 pair.
Do not give me 2
Give
pair.
him 3 pair.
Do not give me 3 pair.
Dan Shak looking at the fade to survive. And it's the blank of all blanks, the red deuce on the river. A roll of reversal. Dan Shak now up to 4.2 million.
Two. Okay. There's 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 5. That.
Chip count wasn't right then.
2 million.
Oh, it's only 2 million. It's 2,025,000?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 2.
Yeah, and
It's not the 200. Got it. The thing was, I guess.
Yeah, it was wrong.
Yeah. You call it evens after the 7-9. There you go.
Yeah.
Just trying to get. I was just trying to get one more through. Just one more.
Shak limps in with 4-3 suited.
All in.
And Tice is just going to jam the 7-5 suited.
Fold in the winner.
Is that what the book says? 7-5 suited?
Sometimes I have no idea what the book says. I mean, I just,
Donnie, tell me what the book says. I don't know what the book says.
yeah, sometimes I look at the book and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm reading.
Well, this book says that the PGT has a lot of action coming up. There's daily satellites running at Venetian right now for their PGT Venetian Classic. The main event starts on September 11th. 3 starting flights. We'll stream all 5 days of that event. 3K buy-in, $1 million guarantee. And then satellites kick off for the Poker Masters $1 million showcase. That event is going to be spectacular here inside the studio. 5K buy-in, $1 million guaranteed. And then on September 19th, of course, the entire Poker Masters kicks off, which runs all the way until October 1st. Come and play if you can. Otherwise, make sure to watch because there is a ton of poker action to come from the PGT. You can check out the leaderboard on pgt.com/leaderboard. $500K in the middle after a $100K bet on the flop and check on the turn.
King.
King's good.
Tice regrouping after having a chance to close it out. Brevin asking in the chat, when is the PGT PLO series? Donnie, give us some insights on the 4-card happenings.
Well, I know it's in October. I also know that we've changed the schedule 16 different times. So let me pull up PGT.com and see if it has been added back. And it has been added back. Holy cow. It's about time. October 14th through 25th. October 14th through 25th. There is a satellite, a $560 satellite on October 13th. So if PLO is your jam, like Mr. D-Nags, and you want to take a shot and try and get in there for cheap, a $560 satellite will take place on October 13th. That satellite will be held inside the Aria Poker Room, and it will win you a $5,000 seat or $5,100 seat to either event 1, 2, or 3, which are the 3 5Ks on that schedule.
9 high. I see a queen.
Yeah.
Queen jack is good.
Queen high is going to take this one.
Pre-flop.
Yeah. I would have lost.
Yeah.
Would not have gone well for me.
Someone in the U.S. needs to have a PLO series that's like smaller buy-ins. Because I want to play.
Like 100 to 500?
Yeah, maybe not as low as 100, but let's say 300 to 1,000.
What's your favorite 4-card format? Or are you just a straight PLO guy?
I've really started to like PLO.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's kind of fun to try and figure it out. Washed up child actor love the name, says, just tuned in. Has the 2 watches been discussed yet? Yes, they have. Dan Shak, he's had on 2 watches for, I mean, years. Years. It's the same 2 watches. I don't exactly know why he has 2 watches on, to be honest, but he has always had 2 watches on.
Three high. Cannot beat 9.
Brevin asking for 5-card events. I feel like the line is very thin with PLO between it being a fun game to watch and a total circus. And the circus in that way is not a positive to me. I think that the circus games often sort of invite players to be tight in a funny way, right? And I've done a stream like this before. You would think that double board bomb pot is a very exciting format, but it's actually one of the tightest games imaginable because it is so hard to make a strong hand and it's so easy to be beaten that oftentimes those games turn out to be super tight. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for limit hold'em streams, but a 6-handed limit hold'em game is far more aggressive and volatile than a double board bomb pot game. Maybe double board bomb pot is really fun and exciting at low stakes when people are just, you know, putting many binds on the line. But in general, it plays nitty and tight, and you get rewarded for playing nitty and tight. Meanwhile, 500K in the middle. Tice bet the flop. Shak made the call. Shak with queen 6 got a lock on this one. Action gets checked. King on the river, and the lock gets broken by Tice hitting the only card that could give him the win. Pairs is king.
250.
And Tice now betting 250. Shak talking to himself. And Shak does indeed make a big fold.
You want to show me the bluff? Oh, I had a feeling you were over the king. I had a queen. Folded a queen. I just had a feeling.
You said it.
I don't know if you had me already, but I had a
Huh?
feeling. You might have had me anyways, and maybe you had
Oh, yeah.
something go along with it.
Right.
I just knew the king had it.
Save you the TV time, you know? Save you the 30 minutes. He'll be all right.
Monster premium for Shak. And he's just going to jam. No. Tice got nothing.
I mean, those opportunities don't come often, and I feel like they're just getting wasted.
Right. Well, we are approaching the next level again. Longest final table of the series so far. 109 hands in the books already, which just gives me more time to tell you about some of our cool upcoming promotions. True Classic and PokerGo giving 15 players a shot at a $5,000 package to compete in a signature end-of-year event. Head to trueclassictees.com/TCPokerGo or scan the QR code on your screen to enter. That is trueclassictees.com/TCPokerGo. Tell your story and take your shot. More poker. Donnie, you and I joked, I believe it was during the, was it the US Poker Open? No, it might have been the Last Chance or something, that there was always this one level that they never made it past. Now, of course, the fields here have been a bit smaller, but that level was 75K 150, I believe. But right now, I would have told you that, oh, we're never going to make it past 50K 100K.
Yeah, I mean, I would have agreed with you, but here we are. Here we are.
Jam again from Shak. Tice gets out of the way.
75, 125, 125.
I mean, it really is fit or fold. It's just, you know, there's kind of no in between. It's just, I'm going to go all in, or I'm just going to, fold or play my hand as slow as humanly possible.
And Tice continues to limp in. Obviously wants to take every opportunity he can to both play flops, but also to have Shak shove into him. And I believe Ace-9 is definitely a hand that he's going to call off with for his tournament life, especially on 14 bigs. And Queen 7-4 now, gut shot for Shak. Ace-high best here for Tice.
I do wonder about the button limping strategy in this specific situation if I'm Landon Tice. Now, I understand, you know, you can do it to keep some pots small. Your opponent's going to probably defend a lot. But specifically against Dan Shak, should you be going more exploit and not worrying about making pots so big? Because if Dan Shak's just going to play conservatively a lot and not be willing to, you know, take marginal hands to showdown and stuff like that, then doesn't it then benefit you to just be like raising a lot taking pots down with either pre-flop raises or just standard flop bets, that sort of stuff?
Matthew says, given how Shak has played, I think Landon mucks Ace-9 versus a shove. Do you think?
No shot.
No? I don't think so either.
But that's the thing where if Landon does have a negative, it's almost being too much of a slave to the sim.
Right.
Like, yeah, maybe he should. If he saw all the cards and the way it's been played out, maybe he should fold Ace-9 to a shove because Shak has been shoving like Ace-Queen plus.
Right.
But then you go back to the hand when Landon had the Ace-3. Like against Shak, that's probably a pretty clear fold on the river because it's Shak. But Landon is like, you know, there's some bluffs in there, yes. I have too much of a hand. You know, I'm blocking an ace and good aces and whatever, so I call off.
All in.
And Tice now with 8-6 suited is going to just shove onto Shaq's limp. Do you think that's partly because Shaq will let you know when he has a big hand? So limping is kind of a signal that he is willing to give up.
Yeah, I mean, has he limped one big, even big-ish hand heads up? I don't think so.
Coming up tomorrow, the 5K Progressive Bounty. We see Cherish Andrews back in the mix. Sam Soverel.
Oh, Sam Soverel showed up, huh?
Gina Ream. Jeremy Becker.
See, AJ Kelsall's got the Eagles jersey ready to go for tonight.
Oh, it's going to be fun to watch it here in the studio.
Yeah.
John Reardon in the mix, Jim Colopy. So it's a who's who yet again. And Ace King suited here for Dan Shak.
400.
It's going to make it 400,000. We are now playing 75K 125. Beautiful looking 10-9 suited, and Tice is going to make the call off a 20 big blind stack.
Yeah, and I love this so much more from Shaq. You know, just raise it up, go with a slightly larger sizing.
Wow. Landon Tice absolutely smashes this flop. Two pair and backdoor hearts. Shaq just jams the ace king and is now in search of a queen to make Broadway. A single pair not going to do it for Dan Shak, as Landon Tice is a huge favorite to get up to 5.2 million and swing things back in his favor. Deuce of hearts eliminates one more out as Tice picks up a flush draw. Shaq with 3 outs. Can he find it to end the tournament? No, he does not. Landon Tice with the double up to 5.3 million, and he again now the big favorite to win this tournament.
2.1.
What a shove from Shaq there.
These are right.
Yeah, I mean, just going for it.
2.175.
Dan Shak down to 8 big blinds. We'll see lots of shoves from him. Jack 8 might be enough.
Yeah, probably going to jam this one.
All in.
There we go.
Call.
And the snap call from Deuces. We got our next all in.
Been here before.
Dan Shak now 50-50 to be our runner-up finisher. But up against Deuces, it's hard for him to be dead on the flop. Queen 9-7.
It's a lot.
Speaking of outs, he's got some. Jack 8 or a 10 would give the win to Shaq. Turn card is the 8 of spades.
It's a little more.
That pairs Shaq. And now Tice looking for a deuce and a deuce only.
How much is it?
King comes on the river and
1.1.
Shaq doubles up
Should
to
be
2.3 million.
Last hand it was off by a little. Probably not.
1.1.
So we fight on.
Well, we're right back to where we started. Heads up play. Right about 2-1 in favor of Landon Tice. So
The battle rages on.
that's right.
If I just jam the ace king, you're probably calling with a 9-10 anyway.
I
No?
would fold.
Oh well.
I would fold.
Close.
Yeah.
I don't like just jamming it. I want to play the hand. It's okay.
Back to some casual poker here. No raising. Queen 3-8 on the flop here. One club. Tice is going to bet at it and take it down. $116 hands at this final table. What a
Every other
grind.
day was over by
This has been.
like.
Dude, it was over like in an hour and a half.
I came here 2:30 yesterday and they were done.
Yeah.
I thought
They were deeper than we were too. Everyone just had a bunch and
They were just.
they went to war.
That's right. They were heads up in 15 hands yesterday.
Nope.
Just getting some extra poker here today, because why not? Quick reminder here that the next generation study system for everyone is here, and it is called Octopi Poker. From casual players to elite pros like Steven Chidwick, it's a fun-to-use, affordable, and full of features. Head on over to octopipoker.ai and check it out right now.
All in.
Ace
The
high,
first one's bad.
enough to jam.
Second one's also bad.
That's good for me.
I mean, I'm suited.
Oh.
3-4 of clubs. That's a suit.
I was in trouble if they matched.
Yeah, they were not matched.
I was in big trouble if they matched.
Oh, you got deuces again?
Ace deuce off, yeah.
Ah, okay.
I was in big trouble if they matched.
No, they didn't match.
Tice in full control, just waiting for the next all-in, which obviously has to be right around the corner given the stack sizes. The last time Dan Shak tasted victory and got to pose for a winner photo. Gonna make that a trivia question for you, Donnie. Do you have any idea?
What was the question, sorry?
The last time Dan Shak got the post for a winner photo.
Good lord.
It's not that long ago. It was here in the studio.
It was either in the PLO series or in the mixed game series.
It was the 2024 Mixed Game Series. He won the 10K Big Bet Mix.
There you go.
Now, prior to that, it was 2019, so there was a bit of a gap. And as I mentioned, Landon Tice coming off a win on August 10th at Seminole, so he's pretty well accustomed to closing one out. Also won a Venetian Deep Stack event back in February.
How are you? I came in yesterday. Yeah, last second. Thanks.
Oh, Carrie Katz in the house.
Yeah,
Little
you
fist
look like
bump for
Mr.
Dan Shak.
Cool there. Thanks.
The old guys stay together.
What?
As soon as you win one bracelet, now you're Mr. Cool.
That was there. Yeah, Mr. Cool.
10 seconds.
Your dime.
I'm not.
Small pair.
Tice not interested.
Small pair is good.
Dangerous waters for Dan Shak, down to 1.8 million. Eight-five suited for Shak on the button.
All in.
He's going to shove with it. Nope. No customer.
All in.
Ace-3 off. Comes with the shove. Landon Tice on 4.5 million, just so comfortable right now. Seems to also be very much in the know on all his decisions as Shak finds King 9 of hearts, another very strong one.
All in.
10 seconds.
And we're just waiting for two hands to match well enough for it to be worth shoving and or calling. Jack 3 deuce 2 hearts. Shaq pairs his 3. Tice decides to stab at it. Shaq not going anywhere. Nine of diamonds. Action gets checked to the river. Ty's probably done with this one.
3.
3 is good.
Shaq gets to win one. $18 bigs for Shaq with king 3 off. He's going to make the move, go all in, and Tice finds ace queen offsuit. This is going to be an all-in showdown. And there it is.
At least they're live.
Very
I
live.
was just praying for live.
I
Dan Shaq's
think
tournament life
live's
on the line.
Working right now.
Praying for live.
Yeah.
34% equity. Let's see if Shaq can escape again, or if Landon Tice will close this thing out right now. 30,000 pay difference between first and second. Here comes the flop. 4, 4, 6. Shaq still
5
looking for a king or a 3.
Out of 3.
Some sweat cards out there.
I don't
7
want
is
5
one of them.
King
10
3.
outs for Dan Shaq.
Okay, thank you.
King 3 or 5, or Landon Tice will be our champion. Let's see the river card. It's the 9 of spades, and that will do it. Dan Shaq
Good game.
is our runner-up finisher, taking home $32,000, and Landon Tice takes it down. Winner of event 3 of the PGT Bounty Blitz. Tice collects $47,500 and $32,000 in bounty payouts.
The Morys, the Tims, and the Carries.
That's a heck of a payout.
That is a heck of a payout.
Good aesthetics, yeah.
$80,000 for his 5K buy-in. Well done, Landon Tice. Dan Shaq also knocked 2 players out and collected $16,000. That is it for us. My name is Rem Karinka. Donnie Peters alongside me. Thank you all so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure as always, and maybe one of these players will be at the final table tomorrow. The 5K Progressive Bounty live reporting right now on PGT.com, and the live stream begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Don't miss the action, as it's once again going to be a good one with lots of bounty money on the line. For now, I want to wish you all a good night. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.